Okay, reminders from last session. So, take the head! Exclamation mark. Old Cobb and Idris have said they'll carry it. Old Cobb intends to claim that he's inherited the house of his contacts. Old Cobb's contacts have all tragically died, in inverted commas. Old Cobb wishes to claim he was the hero of this tale. What are Callum reminders? The mayor owes tax money and has threatened to blame the party for the lost villagers. And Bert is a scary longbowman. Not sure why that needed a reminder.
I am terrifying.
So we should never forget it.
I am death.
Also, Cobb has many schemes. He needs reminding of them.
Scream. Okay, so what do? I believe we left you off at, you were surrounding the dragon's corpse. Bert has just pulled 2 of its teeth out from its mouth to keep as trophies. And otherwise the other 2 of you were contemplating taking the head.
Yeah, we were going to. I've got me axe.
Alright, well, you did just kill the dragon, so I'd say you probably feel pretty safe out here. Let's see how skillfully you're able to slice this head off. I will take strength melee difficulty 8 for a nice clean cut.
Now, I'm not going to get wood cutting bonus as a bonus, am I?
I don't know. I think wood cutting arguably applies here. Like it's got a.
It's not moving.
No, it's not moving. It's got a neck thick as a tree trunk. So I'll give it.
Just visualize the tree trunk.
Exactly. The tree trunk is in your mind. The real tree trunks with the necks we chopped along the way.
There is no neck, only tree trunk.
Oh, damn it.
That is a simple fail.
Oh.
It is a simple failure. You managed to you managed to hack the head off, but it's kind of messy. You've really just like toaster racked the shit out of the neck. There's bone fragments all over the place. Your axe is blunt as all shit. You're breathing heavily and exhausted. You can tell quite how tired you are, not just by the strain in your muscles, but the opportunistic way with which old Cobb eyes you, as though plotting his next untimely accident.
Right. Well, that's not the cleanest work I've ever done, but to be fair, I've never chopped one of them before. I usually do oak.
It would be worse if you had, I feel. What do? The corpse.
We're going to need to take the head back. We're going to need to take the head back to the village.
That's fair. The corpse is currently just kind of quietly settling into the mud and the muck, slowly, not quite sinking. It's not that marshy, but forcing its way into the wet, sodden turf.
Do we know if it'll sink forever here, or?
No, this is hilly terrain. Like, it might go an inch or 2 in, but it's not going to get that far. Even then, it's just because it's perhaps been raining quite recently.
Okay, in which case I would like to indicate to Lord Brocktree that he should watch the corpse to see if anything happens to it mysteriously and report back.
I know he's a trained hunting badger, but if you leave the trained hunting badger with the fresh kill, you're going to come back to a really fat badger.
And or no badger at all.
I mean, potentially that, yes. Does depend on what else is on the island.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't leave
but I mean,
the
you
hunt.
could.
He might be fine. He might not. Depends.
As he was in a will.
You get away from my badger.
Just asking. A lot of folks in need of a will these days. You never know when they might come in handy.
Well, they are when you're around.
I don't know what you're insinuating.
The 2 of you grip either side of the dragon's mighty tusks and begin hauling it laboriously back up the hill. Unless there was anything else you wanted to do here.
No.
No. We're all good.
Okay. The trip back to Mold is not a speedy one. You need to stop repeatedly, and Bert steadfastly refuses to help haul the head, as he established last session.
Yep.
But you make it eventually, huffing and puffing. It's getting on to early evening by the time you arrive. What day did we say it was? I know it's St. David's Day, but I don't remember when that is.
March sometime?
March 1st. So...
Holy crap, I was right.
I mean, you said March sometime, so you've got...
No, I know, but
fairly
I'm
good
amazed I
shot.
even got it in the ballpark. I was just guessing.
It's a 12 for the year. I'm not saying that your 8.175% is not, good.
I
odds,
assume that he would know that it's sometime in spring-ish.
Just from the fact that daffodils are involved, it is a fair guess.
Fair enough. It's at best 1 in 3.
I had no guess, if that makes you feel better. My noted knowledge of Wales and Welsh culture. So it is still somewhat light by the time you make it back to Mould. Disbelieving, Llewellyn the Languid is waiting for you. Here, I wasn't expecting you back so soon. You can see a small throng of villagers gathered around him, many more filing out of the huts behind them. The mist has just about begun to abate by the time you make it back to town. What do?
Here, everyone, gather round, and let me spin you a yarn and tell you a tale. Ferocious beasts and mighty hero and associates.
And with that, unless stopped, it looks like old Cobb is going to launch into his recounting of events.
Where? Yeah.
Well,
It's not a huge issue, Callum, but your audio is not cutting off, but I think the sensitivity is cutting off the last letter of every word, which makes it sound like you're hyphenating everything dramatically.
It's an interesting way. I might keep it. Oh no, that's Teams. We want Discord.
the work laptop life.
In my
the work
good
laptop
Christian
life.
Slack company.
Repurposed.
Oh,
Yeah, we're dirty Teams heathens. I mean, at least it's not Google Meets. That's the worst.
Yeah,
Imagine
Teams for
organising-
President 2028.
Right. How is that?
That's fun.
I didn't
Am I
ask you to...
stimulating?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, that's fine. I thought you'd rolled something there, and I looked and it was Benji, and I got very confused.
No. That was Ben from earlier.
That sounds decent.
Okay.
Cool. Christ, it looks like you've got a few ways you can approach this, honestly. So manipulation is almost a given unless you really want to fall back on the charisma. But you could arguably take expression, leadership, theoretically subterfuge, but I don't think you'll want that. Yeah.
I mean, I would.
I'm sorry?
I would probably like to take. Can I take manipulation leadership?
Yeah, I'll allow manipulation leadership to make it sound like you led the entire operation. And having listened back to the recording, to your, well, not credit, but to be fair, you did try to lead the entire operation, and the only reason that you didn't is because the others wouldn't let you.
Yeah, exactly.
because the people he was working with were a surly weirdo from the woods, and apparently the village's most comparable combatant.
No, he was in command of 2 people. They're just the ones who died first.
There is no such thing as bad managers, only insubordination.
And so begins the tale that shall one day be known as the Epic of Mould. Alright, I will take manipulation leadership, diff 7.
Excellent. Woof. Pass. 2 degrees.
Is indeed 2 successes. So, old Cobb launches into a diatribe which doesn't directly take credit for any specific physical act that happened, but does imply that every single thing that happened was on his order or at his
Master of the passive voice is old Cobb.
He's been working
Dragons
on this.
were killed, and I had a good hand in that.
Many
You
years.
see,
Sorry.
his head came clean off, and when I was standing right there, clean off, you say, and I was there.
Clean off.
I mean, it was
Clean off. Fucking.
Yes.
He was
Granddaddy Idris glances at his worst work in some time.
Quietly kicks it onto its stump so that no one can see the mess.
I, old Cobb, hero of the day, avenge those poor 3 orphans who happen to own me this here house here. And wouldn't you know, their will just happened to fall neatly in my hands here. A will I myself wrote.
That's the only man who can read.
Right up until
And they
the
very
end of it.
kindly say, it all came down to me. You see these squiggles here? Yeah, that's what they mean.
The villagers look on in awe, enraptured by your tale. What's the reaction of your companions, Bert and Idris?
I just like to roll my eyes.
Yeah, raised eyebrow, hand my longbow to Sinful John, who has mystically appeared at my left.
Yeah.
You will note that Sinful John always seems to appear on the left or literally sinister side.
Yeah. So yeah, just hand the longbow to just take that back to the cabin and hang it up on the wall.
You hear the moist blinking of his eyes as he begins to walk away.
I'd like to locate, I don't know, a good fish and feed it to Lord Brocktree.
I think you might have to buy a good fish in town.
Why are you just
I just
finding
killed a
fish and
dragon, bitch.
then forcefully feeding it? Oh, it's a badger, isn't it? Of course.
Oh, Mont's a
Yeah.
fair way away from the coast.
Mm.
Okay, I'll like to find a tasty morsel for him and feed out to him.
You
He
keep
was a
your
good
eyes
boy.
off my pigs.
Well, fortunately,
Dragon.
you know a house that's currently unguarded because old Cobb is giving his story.
That's very
and
true.
Presumably has at least some food in it.
And no orphans to watch over it.
That's true.
No.
Right, in which case I'll go steal that then.
Leaving old
Can't
Cobb
go
to tell.
steal me old property.
Leaving old
No, I'm going to
Cobb-
steal the food.
Leaving old Cobb to tell his story completely unsupervised and allowing him to basically get away with everything. Old Cobb, if you'd like to add 1 dot of influence, brackets mold, to your sheet if you didn't have any previously.
I
Otherwise,
had 3 previously.
Jesus Christ, yeah. You're the hero of the day, increased to 4.
Excellent.
I've noticed a trend with all of this group's campaigns, mini campaigns. Callum is the face. He's always the face, but he's grossly unsuccessful, like, at face value. Then there's me stood behind him who's grossly successful but never takes any of the credit. And then there's Ben, who is a mixture of many things.
Which of you was it that bombed that orphanage? Was that Cal?
That was me.
That was Whitey.
That was me. I posted a grenade through the letterbox.
Yeah.
But I got us in.
You blew up the orphans. Like all
But
of
I
them.
got us into the orphanage and I arrested
That wasn't the
cat.
mission. The mission was not to go into the orphanage.
Successful within set parameters.
There was no mission. We were just told the orphanage was on fire. We made the mission from there.
I can't find the rulebook, so someone may have to tell me what exactly Influence 4 grants me.
It just makes it easier for you to do things around the place. Like if you needed to, say, form a posse for
Well, I
perhaps,
know that. It
perhaps
was just
taking
what-
control as mayor of Mold, then
Yeah,
it'll be much
To
easier.
what degree I have it.
You can
Influence.
reasonably start a coup at this point if you had the personality to do so. That plus your background.
If I
you
had
could
the
reasonably start a coup.
personality to do so.
And on that
Old
subject,
Cobb Farm.
we have actually about entered a minor period of downtime. So let's clarify what everyone is doing with their time off. You'll have a few days to a couple of weeks. I can vaguely assume that we can guess what Callum will be doing, especially with old Cobb's recently acquired new property. So let's start backwards and see what the Badger Wrangler's doing. Benji, what are you up to in your time off?
Well, first things first, I'm going to reward Lord Brocktree for doing such an excellent job.
Mm.
Lots and lots of tasty morsels. I'm going to resharpen my axe, for one thing.
Extremely valid. That shit got very blunt.
That shit got very blunt, and there might be more of those things out there. We don't know.
Valid point.
Okay. Other than that, I am going to spend my time ensuring that my house has adequate defences. It's already got, security 5. I'm just going to make sure it's kept
Sorry,
up to date.
You do not have a house of your recall.
Okay, sorry.
You specifically have a badger set.
Sorry. My badger... I'm going to make sure my badger set is specifically secure.
Wait, sorry, do you seriously have security 5 on your badger set?
Yes.
Why the fuck do I not review these sheets when I go, holy fuck, you do?
I don't know.
It has
I tell you these things.
Sorry, no, it's got security 5, size 3, and a dot of luxury. This is genuinely Badger's house from Wind in the Willows. That's straight up what you've built.
Badger's house is a bit more luxurious than one dot in Wind in the Willows.
It's still burrowed into the dirt.
It's got a front door on it with a finely appointed knocker.
Yeah, do.
It's been a while since you've read Wind in the Willows.
It has.
Like Badger's house is actually quite nice. It has tea making facilities and everything.
Your house is quite nice. You've got a dot of luxury. That's more than literally anyone else in the village. Whitey's the local village 1%, and
I thought you had to take a dot.
Don't believe so. It depends.
Oh, okay. Apparently, I've got a chair that nobody else has got. Then.
No, I just assume you have. Yeah, it looks like a filthy Badger set.
Well,
but
hot drink making facilities. Apparently,
there is presumably an incredibly pimped out room deep within the set that no one's ever been to because they have to wade through all of the traps and feral badgers. And in that room is just Persian rugs, a pillow, a beautiful.
What year are we again?
931.
I was about to say, can't it be that I went on crusade at one point and just went for the loot?
Crusades have not been invented yet.
I know. That's why I checked the year. Otherwise, how else am I going to get Persian rugs?
You could import them, and the Vikings go on raiding.
That's very true.
There are definitely trade routes to Persia at this point in time. They're it's ludicrously expensive, but you have a dot of luxury. If you want your luxury to be in the form of the most valuable rug in all of Castney, then you're welcome to it.
Buried deep below the earth in a badger set.
It's not just buried deep below the earth. Again, 5 dots of traps. That is significantly lethal. You are arguably better defended than the Jarl in his fortified town. Anywho, so that's how you spend your time, preparing for the inevitable badger apocalypse when the giant badgers come to invade your luxurious set.
Ain't no one gonna take my rug.
Oh, I'm so mad. Whitey, what do you spend your downtime doing? You've got a few days to a couple of weeks.
Well, first thing on my to-do list is I've got to shave the pigs. I've got to get them ready for woolen season.
What?
And then...
I don't think you know what pigs are or what they do.
I don't know.
Right,
breeds change over time. If Whitey really wants to have had the now extinct Welsh woolen pig, then I'm happy for that to be the case.
Thing is, I don't see either of you raising a successful pig farm, so you can both fuck off.
I don't need no pigs, I got badgers.
I think you should know all about woolen season.
I don't need no badgers. I've got acquaintances.
It was also subtly implied.
Well, no, you don't. Not anymore, do you?
That the local islanders had been into breeding pigs and badgers for some time last session. So perhaps this is a unique quirk of the local breeds, that they grow a strange, mottled black and white fur.
I need to de-wool the pigs, shave in season. What else have I got to do? I've got to fix fix the slate on the roof, because a mighty horrible drip land on Sinful John's head every single morning he comes in. Well, I say comes in, he appears at the window as always, but he's got an increasing divot on his forehead. It's good. I'm growing concerned, because it ain't the usual divot. What else? Muck out the sty. Remuck the sty. Put some food in the sty. Muck in the food sty.
Sty the muck.
Sty the muck. Then I also need to take the pig wool to market. I also promised Jane a sack of wool ready for the next season's knitting. I need to fletch some more arrows.
Thinking about that as well, I'm going to have to be cutting down some nice wood as well. There's going to need to be some coffins made. For those poor
Well, I mean, you would definitely hope so, but let's zoom on then to our next and final, I almost said contestant then, our next and final party member. Old Cobb, what are you spending your days to weeks off doing?
Well, first of all, I'm going to go back to the house and set it in order. Rearrange the furniture to my liking.
You immediately notice that a large number of supplies have been pillaged.
Shit, I've been robbed. Push all 3 beds together. Make myself my ultra deluxe king bed. Next up, gonna head off down to the local alehouse tavern. Try and fly me story again. Heroes save town. Look at you sleeping in your houses. It's because of me, and others, but mostly me. Here, buy old Cobb. Old Cobb, hero of the town. Buy him a pint.
Yeah, Les, the local tavern keep, seems rather taken with your whole story, especially once the villagers haul the corpse back to mould and begin divvying it up for dragon meat.
Excellent. Yeah.
Stew. Dragon stew.
We'll do that. Next up, I've got to arrange some funerals for some dear old orphan friends of mine. As legal writ of this town, I must inform you of the old funeral tax. Just got to make sure their affairs are in order.
Sorry, funeral tax. What are you just for my reference? What are you trying to pull here?
Well, all friends and family around. We can offer around a bowl and take a good old sort of, I don't know. Let's say maybe
a donation to help them pass to the next world, by any chance?
Not quite a donation, you see. It's more of a ranger's levy. It's it goes up.
That's worse.
I will take manipulation, expression, difficulty 8, but you can have your influence as a pool mod.
Alright, can I counter this with theology? I know we don't like to encourage PvP.
I didn't invite you to the funeral.
Yeah, no, he'd hear about the levy going around the village. I mean,
also, you also know that funerals aren't invite, right? Anyone can turn up to any fucking funeral.
I mean, funerals.
Funerals aren't by invite. They're word of mouth.
I have been to funerals.
Also, I can say as well, funerals are genuinely, they're mostly done by invitation.
Yeah.
I'm
not sure where these
are.
You don't just spread the rumour around in the local pub.
This is 10th century Wales. 100% Whitey would hear what you're... 100% Bert would hear what you're doing, and that you're trying to get people to pay a levy.
Theological crisis.
Coffin levy.
I'd stand up for this theological level.
Callum, are you happy to allow this, or would you prefer it get PvP malices?
I'm happy for him to try and roll against it.
Okay, so
I won't be calling out a character specifically, but I'll make some spiel about how this is wrong in the eyes of God, and it's easier for a poor man to pass through the pearly gates of heaven than a rich man.
I didn't
needle or some shit.
I didn't write the law. If I did, I'd have a lot more influence around here. Let me tell you that.
He says one short of the max. Okay, I suppose you wouldn't know that in character, would you? I will allow you to counter roll then, Bert. That is theology plus charisma diff 7. Every success of yours cancels out one of Cobb's.
So my when you said my influence would modify it, how do I do that? Is that just
you get those as extra dice.
Oh, okay.
Do I have any influence in town?
Good luck.
Very good point. If you have any influence, you may also have that. But sadly, I feel old Cobb's tendrils weave thick.
I'm the only man with a house in town apart from him now.
Yeah, you are one of very few Verlaines.
Oh well, I'm happy to not get that one. But
all right, best of luck then.
All right.
Oh fuck! Oh yes!
Fuck.
That's a botch. Whitey.
I completely fluff the fucking spiel about camels passing through the eye of a needle.
Yeah, people get really bogged down in details of what exactly is a camel.
I was thinking more that just he starts leaning into this whole thing about how God doesn't like it, and then just Sinful John appears behind him, nodding along.
Yeah, it is also frequently pointed out that you keep threatening people with the devil and are in no way an authority on religious matters.
I'm just going to point out the church always threatened people with the devil. It was kind of their thing at the time.
Yeah, but you're not the church.
You're not the church, but equally, they don't generally have a man who people believe to be the actual devil.
Yeah, they threaten them with the devil will get you, not I will sick my devil on you.
I suppose the fact that Sinful John...
fucking Sinful John. You're going to listen to him?
I was going to say, with that botch with Sinful John nodding along behind me, actually, that doesn't work
Sinful
in my
John
favour.
Sadly, smoking behind you.
Sadly, you convince everyone with your arguments that donating en masse to pay for this exorbitant funeral is really the best way to go. Old Cobb, add an additional dot of resources. For the record, that was going to be temporary until the botch, but no, enough is donated. You get in a tithe of food, there are some precious metals in there, people donate old dresses, jewellery, that type of thing, like a lot of petty treasures of the village.
So I gain 1 influence and 1 resource.
Good. How much are you giving me to then make a shitty set of coffins? You forget I'm the one who supplies the wood.
I think it would cover it, so you may add 1 temporary dot of resources. You have it for the remainder of the session.
You like I'm going to spend it.
Sorry?
You act like I'm going to spend it. It's going to my secret cave.
All right.
It's just a temporary dot, so you have it for the session, but it'll disintegrate after that because it's not enough to bring you up an extra level, basically.
Really shitty coins that someone's been filing down.
I mean, yes, actually. Like, you're existing outside of an area where coinage protections are particularly well enforced, so people are probably coin clipping quite heavily.
Old Cobb walks around brushing the shavings off.
What do you spend your due? Oh, well, I'm a clipper. Oh, dear. So
they had a good life, old Ethin, Gethin, and Lanferfeckin. They waited on me hand and foot. They were the best of peeps around. And now poor old lonely old Cobb, with his 3 beds, won't have anyone to look after him anymore. I implore you, good townsfolk, to think on that.
And between this and Sinful John materializing slightly behind and to the left of Bert nearly every time he tries to get across what God would really want, you raise quite a substantial amount in extra tax money. Especially as you're not empowered to collect taxes.
Yes, not bad. It's a good racket.
A few weeks go by. The funeral's been and gone. Idris has started to mutter significantly more on his occasional forays into town about some kind of rug. And life has kind of settled down a little bit. You're out for a stroll late one evening, old Cobb. Perhaps thinking through where your next target is going to be. After all, this money will eventually run out. And
for a man with no skills such as yourself.
Exactly. You need to have something lined up. Otherwise, you'd have to work.
I have many skills. They're various and vicarious.
That's oddly accurate. That's oddly accurate. I don't like it.
It's late evening, one March, and you're out towards Huel's Bluff, up on the hills. You can see the distant lights of mould glimmering very slightly. It's cold in the late spring air. And as your gaze turns back to the path you were walking, you realise that there's a figure stood not too far in front of you. It's hazy, seeming almost to glow softly in the late evening light. And it's a moment before you recognise the mutilated, boot-printed face of Lanferfeckin.
Oh shit! I mean, how this?
Murderer! She raises a single gnarled finger towards you, the tip gently falling off and into the mire atop the hill.
Just the tip.
No. I think... Should I be doing a courage roll here?
That's a very good point, actually. I will take courage, difficulty 8, please.
I thought, I could probably get away with that, but no.
No, it's more fun to roll.
Exactly.
Always more fun to roll.
Fail faster groups are the best groups.
Yeah, boy.
He hasn't got much courage, his old Cobb. Oh, but he has now.
1 success.
I was legally within my
I
rights.
tells you now, murder is a very strong word for what I did. I think you'll find you are halfway through a curse, and cursing is against God. It also don't exist. But if it did, it would be against God.
She screeches and rushes towards you, exploding into a cloud of dust, settling down over the dew-ridden hill at the very instant that she would have touched you.
Phew. Right.
Best lay off the beer.
Best lay off the copper shavings, he thinks. Think I might have breathed a few in. Well, time to go drown my sorrows in someone else's beer.
And that does seem to help. It's 4 days before you see the ghost of Lanferfeckin again.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
You wake up one evening, having drunk your way through the afternoon, to find her passing gently through the wall of the house you, quote, inherited, unquote, from her and her brothers.
Question, does he think it's Sinful John to start off with?
No,
He's just gained some new powers.
She literally passes through the wall.
What is this, some fucking sci-fi Dickens novel?
That's all kinds of anachronistic. I mean, I suppose not, actually. Dickens lived at about the same time sci-fi was invented, so yeah, it's just the one kind. But still.
Yeah.
She screeches, passes a single hand through a burning candle, and dissipates again, scattering dust all over the place.
And I pull 3 separate sets of bed covers up from my head.
Wow.
God damn it.
There is no
The
place
last one
like
is
in hers
hers.
at home.
Certainly. But you do notice one thing this time, just before the first of the covers comes up over your head, that whereas before she dissipated immediately, before she'd even managed to touch you, this time the candle had a very slight wobble to it, as though something, perhaps a strong gust of air, had gently brushed it. Meanwhile,
Can I ask,
hmm?
why do I have candles on in the middle of the night? While I'm
You
asleep?
didn't. It was on in the afternoon, and you...
Oh, right, so I was
drunkenly
drunken in...
fell asleep. Yeah.
Oh, right, I see.
No,
You
you
were
just
day
forgot to
drinking
turn the
with all
candles
that
off.
fat bank you earned
I
from...
always hate that. Getting to turn the candles off.
You said why were they turned on? So I was like,
Yeah, well...
you forgot to turn them off before you went to bed, obviously.
Who's never fallen asleep with the candles on?
Exactly.
It's going to get really macabre if I burn to death. So, meanwhile, over at Bert's homestead. But you're extremely used to Sinful John materializing with, no warning whatsoever.
If he materializes right now, I'm just going to say, go back to bed, John.
He does not materialize. Instead, extremely uncharacteristically, the door throws itself open, and Sinful John, very visibly and very loudly, charges through, rushes under a nearby bed, and refuses to come out, hissing when you try to, force him with the broom.
God damn it, John. This is weirder than usual. I never thought I'd say that, but this is genuinely weirder than usual. Look, get out from under the bed, or I swear I will get the raid. Alright, that's it. I'm getting the ant spray. It's just like
You mean the
of
rake?
water. No, it's just a bucket of water.
You've never seen Sinful John this spooked. It's like he's, for lack of a better term, got the devil in him.
More so than usual.
More so than usual, yeah.
Perhaps this time in his heart, and not just his head.
Alright, fine. Do I need to go out there for you to come out of there? Alright, I'll take that as a yes. I shrug on my burlap sack turned dressing gown. And I've just like cut out one side of it and then poked some holes in like what would have been the seams otherwise, and just poked my arms through.
I'm not engaging.
No, it's my dressing gown, Ewan.
Screw.
So yeah, I take the broom and my burlap dressing gown. I'll wander up to the front door, take a peek out onto the porch. The pigs are snuffling away.
The pigs are indeed snuffling away. And immediately behind the fairly ordinary sight of the pigs snuffling away is the slightly less ordinary sight of a face with a bootprint firmly embedded into it. A face you may recognize as your recently deceased neighbor, Lanferfeckin.
Courage roll?
Yeah, I'll take a courage roll, if 7. You're a little bit further away, so you get a slight extra.
Have I got anything to help with this? Can I get an extra dice for having Sinful John as a retainer?
Sinful John has run away from this apparition.
Yes.
But I'm used to
even
weird
he
things.
Even he is afraid.
I'm used to something that is regularly referred to as having the devil in him. I'd like to argue that having him around on a daily basis has at least partially numbed me to this shit.
I'm gonna say no on the basis that you did see this woman die, and she's currently more than a little bit see-through.
But I've been on tour. I've seen many people die.
Nonsense.
Admittedly, not many of them come back.
You've not seen many of them come back, though. Yeah, I would say basically none. If nothing else, you don't tend to hang around that long.
No, that's also
You were in a
You
Welsh
also tend not to be
Alright, well,
standing near them when they die.
Okay, well, I'm going to spend a willpower point.
Fair, that's 1 automatic success.
Well, I'm glad that I did that.
Yeah, well merited. You just about hold on to your bottle, though you can feel your bladder just frantically hammering on the emergency eject button, and just about manage to hold it in.
Can I hold it in just enough to at least turn to Sinful John and say, guess she's not a friend of yours? I'm going to close the door, make sure the curtains are pulled, and fetch me longbow.
You don't have curtains, you have shutters, but otherwise valid.
Good enough, yeah, and I'm just going to turn on the candles, to use old Cobb speak.
Yeah, it's local parlance.
Yeah, and ready myself in so I'm going to sit on the bed like man losing his mind style, longbow across lap, arrows on the bed, just waiting, rocking back and forth a little bit just in case the PTSD's coming back.
ready to spring up and notch and loose.
Yeah.
Okay. For contrast, Idris Idris has quite a calm and relaxed night, I believe.
Probably.
Aside from when the badger walks up and its head turns 180 degrees.
Just 180, rotating itself into the badger's torso, whereupon it suffocates.
Oh, wrong axis!
Not 180, for fuck's sake.
Nothing wrong with my badgers.
Look, they're partially bred with owls, that's why they can turn their head so far.
You can't crossbreed badgers with owls with pigs. Like,
You say can't, I say probably shouldn't have.
what do you
But
mean
did it
probably
anyway?
shouldn't? Oh dear. Morning comes and finds 2 out of 3 of you extremely sleepless. What do, gents?
Oh, I get my 8-string guitar and I down tune it to Z. Sorry, that was an awful joke. That was an awful gent joke, yeah.
I think I have a lovely night's sleep and don't think about any of this problem because it's not my problem.
I'm gonna confront old Cobb.
I'm gonna borrow the door with all of my furniture.
So, old Cobb, you're in the process of barring the door to your recently inherited house when you hear a fierce banging from outside. Tap, tap, tapping, rapping against the door with furious intent.
I'm gonna, while I'm hammering on the door, I'm gonna go, Murderer!
If I hear murder one more time, I'm gonna come out there and totally not murder you.
Fortunately, your houses, as established in Session 1, are something of a ways back from the rest of town. Still, there's only so long that distinctly male voice can continue to shriek murderer before you are found out.
Wait a second. That don't sound like no orphan.
There has a distinct tinge of parents still alive to that voice.
Yes. I'll move the cabinet away and sort of open the door a crack. Here, look.
The moment the door opens a crack, I'm gonna kick it in and push, like, come in, finger pointing at old Cobb's face.
I will take strength brawl, I guess. Diff 8 to kick the door in. We'll see how dramatically this goes, because you've botched every competitive roll you've done against Callum so far. I know it's on
I'm just doing this for the drama. I'm literally just doing this for the drama.
Do I need to do this?
We'll see, depending entirely on how Whitey does it.
I rely on this door.
I'm not trying to kick it off its hinge, by the way. I'm just trying to kick it open.
Yeah, one success. You do manage to kick it open. So you get just about enough, just about in as far as opening the door, old Cobb, and ear, before the door flies open, the cabinet is tossed over, and in through the door, flying like all the hounds of Hades, or one of them, comes Bert, pig farmer, longbowman, owner of child.
Potentially most dangerous man in the village.
Potentially.
Yeah, well, not necessarily on record. I've never killed a villager, but what?
Unlike you murderer.
Unlike you murderer.
Sweet Jesus!
Wait, what? You know what you did? We all fucking saw it. I know it's back. It's back. I saw it looking over the pigsty, freshly mucked.
I don't know what you're saying to me.
Yes, you do, Lanferfeckin, and her fucking, your fucking boot, her feckin boot print in her feckin face.
It was self-defense, and you knows it. And so does she.
Self-defense when she's lying on her face, on her back, bleeding out. I've seen soldiers with more guts than you, and holding them in with one hand and still fighting.
Recoup a willpower point for that line. That was a good fucking line.
Oh, PowerPoint. What's a PowerPoint?
Willpower point.
Oh, sick. I get it back. Nice. It's the little cross boxes underneath that you use to power up and down, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So, I'm full on confrontation mode. I'm calling Callum out as a murderer right now, and the corpse has come back to haunt me for some reason. I'm just going to believe it's because I allowed the mercy killing of. In my mind, I think I rationalised it's a mercy killing, but it's playing on my conscience, so I'm seeing a blah blah blah.
That's fair.
That's how I'm rationalising my character right now. But I'm fully coming after fucking old Cobb right now.
Look, I refuse to believe it were a murder. You know why? Because if it were, it would have won in a court of law.
Look, you're using a lot of long words here, but you're looking awfully tired yourself. You didn't happen to get any strange visitations?
I've had a long night, in which case I might have seen something unusual coming through me wall.
Now I know for a fact that Sinful John ain't got enough sin in him to walk through the wooden walls yet.
Yeah.
So that you also saw Lanferfeckin and her feckin boot print.
look, the most important thing is that we need to go out there and we need to go and put the boot into that fucking ghost so I can get a good night's sleep. I tell you
admit
what,
it.
I ain't admitting nothing.
Sinful John, what did he just say? Please
Oh,
tell
shit.
me, like, Sinful John has seneschal. He does, he has seneschal. Sinful John wrote all this down.
I don't think he's got literate as a merit, though, does he?
Yes!
Does he?
No,
Doesn't
he
he?
doesn't.
No, damn it.
Yes!
You can do it. No, we can do thumbs up and thumbs down if you say if you
What?
ask the
Yeah, as
question.
he
That won't
does,
pass
he
the court of law.
materializes slightly behind you and to the left, and gives a thumbs up and a gentle hiss.
No
You might
lawyer,
notice this ain't a court of law.
no lawyer / me would admit it.
No lawyer's ever gone up against Sinful John yet. And no lawyer ever would.
And no lawyer ever will.
Sinful
You
John
dare
licks
threaten
his
Sinful
lips
John?
threateningly.
And,
Blinks his moist eyelids.
You're going to repent your sins, Cobb. You're going to repent them right now and you're going to make this right.
I ain't repenting nothing. You can't
Yes, you
prove
are.
nothing.
I'm good. If I have to drag you down to the graveyard myself, you're going to recant your sins, you're going to apologize to those poor dead souls, and you're going to give them a proper burial out of your own pocket.
No.
Meanwhile,
I like how
Idris is making one of his fairly irregular trips to town to... how's your relationship with your son nowadays? You sounded quite disappointed in the last check, Benji.
I think he still lives with me. It's just I
thought
don't
it was
get
your
on with his
grandson
idea
lives
of
with you.
not being fun. Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, your son lives in town.
Well, I get along with my son professionally in that he makes money, but I don't get along with him in his strange obsession with not living in the woods and not wrangling badgers.
Alright, so you're making one of your monthly trip into town to berate your son for not taking up the family business of badger wrangling, leaving it to his poor son instead.
Exactly, it's not right.
When obviously your route leads you past old Cobb's little inherited hut, which is now old Cobb's hut, and you hear two raised voices from within, and the signature hissing of Sinful John. You can recognize both of them. They're not the words being spoken. One is old Cobb, and the other is Bert. Just going to nip to the toilet. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
I'd say this sounds like a you problem.
it's going to be a you problem if you're not fucking careful, mate. And I don't mean that as a threat. I'm quite enjoying this not quite PvP.
Yeah, me too. I'm enjoying. I like the fact that the sort of internal disagreements is balanced out by the external. Like, I have far too much influence for anyone to believe you lot, and yet simultaneously, you all know exactly what I did.
Yeah, that's the thing. We are not only the source of your influence, but we're also the biggest threat to it.
Exactly.
Because it's our word against yours, as literal witnesses. But yeah, no, it's also a case of ultimately you're being given options. We're not there to bully you into submission so much as we're out to save our own skin because we think that I think the devil's after me, not just you.
There's a lot of power in knowing everyone and their mum. You may have all your fucking witchcraft and your devil child, but I know everyone and their mum around here.
Everyone knows everyone and their mums around here. It's a village of 100 people.
You think you might know him? I know him. I tells you what, I know every secret around every door.
Oh yeah, well, how much pork did Larry buy last week? Because I bet you don't know that.
I mean, I know every fucking useful secret around every door. I'm a fucking lawman, not a fucking greengrocer.
If Sinful John could fucking speak, he'd know twice as many secrets as you, and he's never even spoken to anyone.
Intelligence
I probably
politics
could.
for the pork thing, Callum. Diff 7.
This is really obscure. 7's quite easy for this.
Intelligence politics. The thing
Yeah, but
is,
he
old
did-
Cobb's not very intelligent.
He did spec into this, to be fair.
He didn't spec into intelligence. Oh, sorry.
That's 4D19.
And he's still
Laptop
He
keyboard.
still botched.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I botched T19. Yes.
That's 3 successes. You actually were buying pork at around about the same time. So you do
33.
exactly 33
What the
pork.
fuck?
He's a big lad. He likes
Larry
his
is a
pork.
big lad.
Barry. Oh,
They call
Barry.
him- They call him Larry the Load for a fact that he needs to be loaded onto a cart to get to town.
I'll add that to my list of minor characters.
Larry the
Barry
Load.
the load. against all odds, the fattest man in Wales.
That's why they call him Larry the Load, indeed. Did we get
Well, we had to breed more pigs.
Did we
Find
get
more options.
Idris into the room, or is he just kind of lurking outside listening?
He's still just lurking outside listening. He's not really that. This is sounding more like somebody else's problem than his problem.
Okay. I will take an occult or theology roll from either Old Cobb or Bert. Plus intelligence, diff 6.
Bert, you seem to be having some, to be honest, some rather shite rolls recently.
It was in theology, right?
Yep. That looks like 2 successes. Okay. You're not what you would call necessarily a priest, nor particularly educated, but you believe that ghosts are unlikely to be good news for the pig-rearing community.
I'm gonna spook my swine.
They will spook your swine. They're already spooking your swine herd, and he does not spook easy. Moreover,
Can I add that to the list for later already as spook my swine?
He is the one who spooks.
Moreover, you've heard all manner of old wives' tales about the type of horrible thing that ghosts can get up to. Unquiet spirits of the menacing dead. There's no telling what kind of evil mischief this thing could do, from souring your pork before the pigs have even died, to perhaps giving your apprentice the ability to speak again, which would cause you undoubted amounts of mischief.
I'm sorry, but I'm really locking into some of these phrases right now.
Souring your
swine.
pork.
Souring my pork and spooking my swine.
For your big lexicon of pig-themed disasters.
Yeah.
This pork tastes like licorice. Something wrong with it. There's a devil in that pork.
That's licorice.
That porker. That swine had the fear in him. That's how you get deviled.
Yeah,
John will tell
it's
you
from Asia and Southern Europe, so you might have licorice. Oh, wait,
Maybe.
it doesn't. I
Hey,
can't see anything.
Bert might have had licorice.
Yeah, I can't see anything about history particularly. Oh no, wait, Southern Europe. What's it called? Yeah, Bert. Exactly. That's in fact what you were saying. Yeah, so Bert may well have had licorice at some point in his life. Looks like strange foreign confectionaries. He prefers the local Tic Tac. A form
I
of
forgot that happened.
small minty biscuit.
Keeps you going for the day. One a day.
Tic Tac a day keeps the healer.
Sinful John away.
Tic Tac a day keeps Sinful John away. It's too minty fresh. Sin can't stand it. Priests hate him.
The thing is, jokes on them, Simple John actually quite enjoys Minty Breath.
There's one simple tick. Tack.
Oh no! All this mint is attracting sin! Oh dear.
Your breath, it's sinfully fresh.
God damn it. So, you're understandably quite concerned about this ghostly business, seems like. This could mean anything from Old Cobb going to get his just desserts to you're all going to be murdered by the spawn of Satan.
Define we.
Well, I think you're just snooping outside at the defining
listening we
listening
there.
entertainedly to the...
It just
Well, you
seems
can, at this point, you
thoroughly
can literally
determined
chime in
not
with
to.
what. You could literally chime in at this point and say, what do you mean we?
I chime in with, haven't you people ever heard of not killing your goddamn orphans?
I chime in with
Not killing your goddamn orphans.
No!
It doesn't work.
You could
too
make it
adorable.
work within the time.
You probably could,
It's much better to
yeah.
make these kind of keep these kind of things.
Alive and unmolested, damn it.
That is such a poor choice of words. I'm not even going to go into it. So,
Well, I mean, personality still kind of works there.
yeah, anywho, that was a mental realization on behalf of Bert, and not an explicit thing that he vocalized. Just contextualizing the situation a little bit. What do?
I'm basically arguing the point with Cobb that I'm making demands and saying I'm gonna drag him down to the graveyard myself, and he's gonna make amends. He's gonna get on his knees, recant his sins, apologize to the dead orphans, and he's gonna pay for the funeral out of his own pocket and make a donate to the church roof. Because everyone knows that no church roof is ever complete.
With the he'll pay for it out of his own pocket, I'd like to stick my head through the window. You were saying? Someone's paying for a funeral, are they?
Yes, old Cobb, and you're gonna help me.
Hey, look at here. See, you've already got your fucking blood money.
What blood money? You paid me for wood.
Yeah, you paid him for a fair service. You're the only one with blood money on their hands. Not only have I not seen a dime, and not that I want to, but he is also a witness to your foul sin.
Mine? What?
No, he was pointing at
Yeah,
right.
Old Cobb for that.
Sorry, I don't know what order everyone is on the screen. Yeah,
Sloth?
I'm
Right? You might have to be
Slice of-
specific.
murder. More specifically, I'm just looking at him like flatly at this point. It's like, come on, mate. Let's stop fucking doing the dance of words. Like, you murdered a person. I'm trying to help you out here. I'm trying to help you recant your sins. And him over there is also a witness to your fucking foul deeds. So, come on, let's get to the graveyard.
I tells you what, if it makes as much sense to you, we'll go down to the fucking graveyard. We'll deal with this shit, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. All right?
We have to cross the bridge to get into the fucking churchyard.
Oh yeah.
Apparently,
I made some money off that. It was great.
it seems like I think you've probably now heard enough to be able to put this together. Idris. Is there some accusation of that murder that you may have accidentally been a party to getting discovered, which might be something of a concern as the most obvious local scapegoat?
I weren't a party to nothing.
You were present and
Accountable.
local religious minority.
Literally were there.
Oh, I didn't do it, though.
Yeah, but it's kind of your word. Exactly, kind of your word against the other two on that one.
Oh, but it'd be our two words about how we didn't do anything against his word about how we did it.
Okay, so I love the weird triangle that's going on here. There's me saying that Callum is primarily to blame, and me and Ben have it on our conscience that we didn't do anything to stop. We got Idris who said, "I wasn't a party to it. I was there. It happened, but I wasn't a party at all." And then we've got old Cobb who said, "I didn't do a murder, but you two were party to it."
Overlapping lay.
I think you would be extremely familiar as well, Idris, with the village's prejudices on the matter, and moreover from that, Old Cobb's current ridiculous levels of influence in town and legal training, which means that a testimony of 2 versus 1, especially when one of those testimonies can almost effectively be discounted and the other one's currently very unpopular in the village, might not work out as in your favour as you might hope.
None of this would hold up in a court of law in Mold. Alright?
Mold that barely has
I've got an idea. Why don't we just kill him and let the ghost deal with it?
Oh, yeah.
How do you know about the ghost?
You were just talking about it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Murder on the mind, this one. You better watch him. Don't want to go and see any murderer around here.
Look, the only killing I've done has been under the eyes of God for my lords and ladies on the battlefield.
And also all those pigs.
Those are godly sanctuary, and every man needs to eat swine.
I don't. It don't agree with me.
Well, that's just because you're IBS playing up, mate.
I know, but you know.
I tried to give you the lean stuff.
I'm a vegetarian now.
Well, you had to. Because the meat kept disagreeing with your stomach.
So the afternoon passes in long arguments. People yelling and counter-yelling, accusations, grand conspiracies, suggested, joined in, and then immediately abandoned.
I also like the village is we're the backstory here that Idris for Idris is long-standing IBS.
I don't actually know what the acronym stands for, I'm afraid.
Irritable bowel syndrome.
Oh, I see.
It'll get you eventually one
yes.
day, Ewan.
They call it old shitty leg in these time periods.
I mean, possibly.
Oh dear. Or what is that? OSL for short. Yes, however, eventually you do, against the odds, manage to action your plan of going down to the church graveyard to, it's not even a church really, it's a little chapel almost, to inspect the recently laid grave, in fact, of Leffin, Heffin, and Lanferfeckin, or whatever their names actually were.
I'm slightly confused as well. You say there was only
Cobb.
one of these.
Sorry?
Well, why am I involved in this as well? Because quite clearly this thing's not haunting me. It didn't turn up at my place.
It's only a matter of time.
It has only been one night.
Says
You do have blood on your hands.
Only that giant dragon things.
Your place is also, I would say, for someone who specs magical wild person and like 5 things of security, probably includes a modest amount of like
Warding against ghosts.
yeah, warning things.
I do
don't
have
think-
4 in hearth wisdom, so I may have to scroll
Exactly.
charms on the wall.
I don't think you know what works, nor have you ever practically tested this, but it does occur that you have active wards up against this type of thing. Sure do hope you never have to leave your never have to leave your burrow.
I'll live down there forever.
But who will lecture your son?
I'll send his son to do it. I know, I'll get some kind of giant reed pipe, and I'll get Lord Brocktree to take it to my son, and I'll have the other end of it.
I don't think that's practical. The graveyard is relatively quiet at this time of the afternoon. There's no service on, and it's a weekday. People are mostly out and about, ploughing and plying their farms. Currently, Sinful John is off seeing to the pigs, calming them down, stroking their bellies. Leaving the 3 of you alone in the churchyard in front of the 3 fresh-dug graves. What do?
Ain't half boring here, innit?
Well, no ghosts here. Looks like can't be me.
Everyone knows ghosts don't come out at daylight. Get on your knees.
I think we all need to get on our knees, son.
Don't look at me. Ain't nothing to do with me.
Well, I didn't see you not there, did I? In fact, I saw you right there.
Not there.
I didn't see you not there.
See, 'cause
We're
he
all going to
wasn't
get on our
there,
knees.
so
We're
he
all
wasn't
going to
there.
get on our knees, and we're all going to
What?
pray for forgiveness.
Right.
You
All 3 of us.
will lead the prayer.
Yeah. Get on your knees, Ethan.
I may be Ethan, but I ain't no frickin' murderer.
Phew.
You're just
You
as
keep-
guilty.
You keep throwing that word around a lot. Some people
Well,
might get
it's what you
suspicious
are.
by you.
The threat hangs heavy in the air of the churchyard, a distinct air of, you keep dobbing me in actively where people might hear, and I will accuse you of this.
You accused it, deduced it.
It is
Aye, but you actually did the crime.
It is an unfortunately sound legal principle of the tiny village of Mold that he who doosed it did accused it, as laid down by their seminal lawyer, young Cobb. No relation.
Ancient tradition. Going nigh on 30, 40 years old, that.
So your extremely valid arguments of being nothing to do with this, whilst unfortunately logical and arguably correct, do not necessarily hold up in terms of not getting killed for it.
On the court lawn.
Exactly. It's the particular patch of grass that the town holds legal proceedings in.
Yeah.
The other two get to their knees, and looks like old Cobb is begrudgingly preparing to lead the prayer.
Oh, dear God. Don't come now smiting us now. We're good folk in this here town. Some better than others. Some leading others. Some who've lost their way. Looks pointedly at the heathen. And if you're gonna smite anyone around here, might I suggest you start with those?
Are you seriously taking your time of begging for forgiveness to shit talk us? Just beg you, cunt.
Can I do a roll to see if they're to reach for an immediate twig or something and just smack him over the side of the head? 0 damage. Just
You can flick a twig directly at... You know what, fuck it, you're a longbowman, let's see how well this hits. I will take archery, dexterity, difficulty 5 to flick a twig directly at old Cobb's face. All in long years of training.
oh my god,
for a
that's
single
one.
success.
That is polarized.
Old Cobb is very bad at very many things, but has something of a sixth sense for when something has been lobbed at his face. Boots, turds, pies. Through the years, many things have been lobbed at him in his political and legal career as village man. And he's gotten extremely good at dodging them.
He's been known as Bob in Cobb.
Yep.
Fucking damn it.
Bob and Cobb.
They do.
Oh, God.
We are going to give everyone in this town something they are known for,
In
whether
his
you
younger
like it or
days-
not, Ewan.
In his younger days, he was indeed known as Bobbin Cobb. Cobbin to his friends.
Then it later became Cobbin and then Old Cobb.
Nevertheless, you do still just about manage to whack him on the nose, interrupting the slightly selfish prayer. Just about the moment that Idris chimes in to insult him. Oh well, actually very validly criticize him. I will take a theology conscience roll, please, Callum. Difficulty 8.
Fail it. Have a conscience.
I wonder what conscience old
Press
Tom-
it down. Press it down. Yes.
God damn it.
Bob and Cobb strikes again.
Be a better human.
Yeah, 2 successes. A chill wind picks up. The early spring air feels crisp, and you see a slight rime of hoarfrost begin to emanate out from the tombstone of Lanferfeckin. A voice just barely whispers across the proverbial shroud of undeath. Of undeath? Of death. Echoing in each of your ears. This is, I believe, Idris's first contact with the Spectre. I
Back you, ghost.
will take a courage roll, difficulty 6 for Idris, as he only heard the spirit, and it was in the day, albeit in a creepy environment.
Yeah, only slightly creepy, it's fine.
It's quite creepy. If nothing else, you probably feel quite unsettled in a church graveyard, but it's not really your scene.
No, it's very true. I much prefer the woodlands.
I mean,
Right.
your woodlands are their own variety of cursed, but
I
it's
spend a willpower point. That's
you can't do a D100. It's entirely the wrong system.
what was the difficulty again?
Diff 6.
Okay, that's 3 degrees of success.
Ah.
Piss off, ghost.
Net 3 successes. You are not intimidated by this spirit. There are older, darker, and far more terrifying things that live in the Whisperwood. And, of course, that's not to say the spirit might not be dangerous. You have what you feel is a firm grasp of its relative potential. Which is to say, fuck all right now, at the very least.
Piss off, ghost.
Nevertheless, the spirit has made its intentions and opinions clear. What do?
Let's get back up off my knees and dust them off. Some copper shavings come off. Well, try my best. But you see, I don't think God's listening today. He's out of his wheelhouse. Best of luck, y'all.
I mean, it's coming after you, mate. I don't know why you're running away from it.
I think the spirit was very clear about who it was coming after, generally.
Yeah, him.
Your logical arguments that you were not at fault do not necessarily persuade people. Especially not angry ghosts.
UNL ghost. Right, I'm back off to me set. Place where the ghost hasn't been.
If he hasn't been there, we'll come with you.
Feck off, will ya?
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like an invite to me.
I haven't got time to be teaching people about the secret layout of my traps.
We'll just walk one foot after another right after you.
We'll walk in your
That's not quite how that works.
So the conversation goes until they're almost to the very borders of the Whisperwood. The two of them seem quite determined. Sod you, Sinful John. The two of them seem quite determined to come into the safety of your set.
We're not living in my set.
We ain't living in it. Just want to, cower for a bit.
Till when? The ghost gives up, it's freaking dead. What's it going to do, die of old age?
I mean, you did take 3 dots of size, so much as I hate to say it, I think the set probably does have at least one spare room for guests.
But not for them.
Filled with badgers.
Exactly.
Combing each other's hair.
Lord Brocktree is a prize specimen. I've got to put him out to stud soon.
Studying badgers.
Meanwhile, Lord Brocktree.
Oh, God. Gently caressing his badger nipples as he eyes the swine farm with intent.
I hate that Brocktree, a badger, has fucking kinks. I hate it.
Don't you kink shame my pet?
The heart wants what it wants, and it wants Bessie, the prize pig.
The heart wants what the badger wants.
That's true. Okay, I think we need action from Idris for Idris here. The two of them are very clearly going to try to follow you inside your set, and there's a decent chance they will both die if you don't explicitly give them guidance, which would be laid at your door.
More murders I'm getting blamed for that I am not. Not my feckin' fault. Although I suppose that would be slightly more of my fault.
Yeah, it would 100% be significantly more your fault if they died on your traps.
Fine, follow me. You can stay in... I don't know. You can stay in the parlour.
In B
You
complex.
have a parlour?
The two of you are actually led into a fairly nice parlour. It has beautiful wood furniture. It's surprisingly spacious. The transit underground lasts a full 20 to 30 minutes, crawling through a series of increasingly narrow earthen tunnels, past angry, ornery, and suspicious badgers, until you come out in a room that allows you to stand and still has some room atop that. There's a small amount of light emanating from a disguised hole in the ceiling grown over with moss, and a rather expensive-looking candle. In that it is a candle available to be lit, providing significantly more light. There are chairs, perhaps even a bookcase, admittedly not one with books on it, and a fairly finely polished table.
In this moment of... I'll suffer a moment of awe here, but also nudge old Cobb and say, I swear those badgers were saying nasty things about us as you crawled through there.
I swear I saw one rubbing its nipples.
I saw that
Brocktree, ignore that. You've met him before.
Yeah, I've met him, but that was weird even for him.
I wish I hadn't.
He's businesslike when he's on the job, is Lord Brocktree.
He's getting far too familiar.
Yeah, I'd like to keep it strictly professional between us and Lord Brocktree if possible.
I mean,
I'm not going into the erotic badger roleplay. I'll tell you that here and now.
Yeah, that I don't have full stop that one, thanks.
I'm sorry, Benji, but no matter how nice
Rotary
you
sounds
are,
I didn't want it to go there.
look, it's not our fault that you're into this whole badger situation. You do you, but no one else is doing it.
Or log broctree, or the nipple thing.
Log tree, nipples of badgers, none of it.
Yeah, no, that's the end of that particular line of roleplay.
Family friendly BMP.
Look, we
Yes.
can we can skip to the morning after and the cigarette in bed with broctree, and we'll just go from there.
You're going weirdly in depth with this.
10th century badger shagging cigarette.
No, you should have just left it as 10th century badger shagging and just taken that quote.
I'm not making that the episode title.
10th century badger shagging. Yeah.
So the two of you have secured temporary reprieve from the reach of the wrathful dead person, grasping after their vengeance against you. What's your action plan from here? It seems like Idris Idris is generally uninterested and annoyed, and more just didn't want you to get massacred heading in here than anything else.
Well, I know I don't often say this, and this might be blaspheming, but I'm not sure the lore of old moles will save us now. We might have to turn to genuine guard. Let's,
Some of us are already turned to genuine guard.
alright. Don't need to go get up on your fucking high horse up there with St. Michael. Looking down on us poor folk. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
I don't think he's on iOrsme. I think he's on iPig.
I pig. Anyway, I think we should find ourselves a priest.
I don't. I mean,
I think we should
That
find
means
someone
going
who
to
knows
Father
the old
Guthrie.
ways.
You always say that, you and your goddamn old ways. You
And whose house is the one who isn't been visited by this goddamn apparition?
coincidence?
I think not.
He says, gesturing to the numerous talismans and scrawlings all across the burrow's walls. You do have a priest who visits Mould on the irregular. What was it? Father Griffith.
and Sister Gwen.
And Sister Gwen. They're currently out wandering. They're itinerant priests or itinerant clergy for the island, so they're not presently in Mould. They're doing their long, lazy circuit of Castney.
Well, failing that, we could maybe get a mob together?
And do what?
Safety
Can't
in
lynch
numbers?
a ghost. You have to appease a ghost. That's why I was saying you should give a genuine apology at the gravestone, but no. Instead, you had to go off on one about the heathens who look after the old ways.
I did.
He's just our bloody neighbour.
I'll have
he can
you know,
apologise
I
in his
did
own way.
give a genuine apology. Deaths were had. I was there. There were fine people on both sides.
Jesus.
Wow.
Escalated from no laugh, I'll say that.
They were very topical. That's what had. There were fine people on both sides.
Yeah,
Oh,
deaths were had. You know, I may have been there. You may have been there. You may have been there. And yeah, it all comes back to me.
Oh, because
You
you're
look
the
up to me.
murderer.
I think it's because you look up to me. I'm like a father figure to you.
I'm
Have you
older
really
than
yet?
you.
You're making this weird.
Does anyone have any dots in a cult?
Yeah. So,
No, I have half wisdom, but
I
That's-
would also take half wisdom, to be fair. I will take intelligence, half wisdom, and or intelligence occult.
I do
Difficulty
have half
7
wisdom.
in either case.
okay. Do I get exploding tens for the old ways as a speciality?
It's not exploding, they count for 2.
Okay.
But no in this case.
No.
So I suppose I can give it a go.
What was the difficulty? Sorry,
I believe I said difficulty 8.
and that's a no for me then.
Old Cobb strikes again!
luckiest fucking.
Okay.
And while you were away, I was saying to the guys, I'm liking the balance we have. Like, I'm the weakest, shittiest, least trustworthy person on the team, and yet it's balanced out by my total influence and domination within the town.
You are a jammy, skeeving politician, dragging everyone down with your complete shittiness.
Ah, it's so good.
There's a really odd dynamic in this party that is very weirdly balanced.
I have no respect, and yet all of the respect.
Yeah, you have all the respect for everyone who is not us, for sure.
Exactly, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so one success. I will give you a single hearth wisdom, so like old wives' tale type stuff, question on how you might be able to treat with or deal with having a hostile ghost after you. You can discuss it amongst the group what you want the question to be.
Well, if I were to ask...
If I were to ask a miscellaneous narrator
If I were
how
to
to
ask
banish a ghost,
some sky man who ain't God, and who ain't none of your heathen bullshit either,
that
I
seems
probably
to
want
also
to
know everything
know
we're doing.
how we can bounce this curse onto someone else less deserving.
So we get no. And there's Bert is not going to allow that. Because is just moving, that's just shifting the blame. That doesn't clear Bert's
Of course
conscience.
it's shifting the blame. What
So
more
that's
do
the
you
problem.
want?
Bert doesn't want to shift the blame. Bert has a reasonable conscience.
Because it was Callum's role, he does have right of veto on what he wants the information given on. So
Job?
you can still find alternatives. It doesn't lock you into this. But if he wants to, like the epiphany that comes to him is on bouncing the curse onto someone else, then he is allowed to have it on that. And now we watch him consider.
I'd rather if we could. My character would rather, not me. I don't really care either way. But my character would personally rather we appease the ghost and give it put it to actual rest to clear our own consciences and absolve us of sin. Ben, what would your character's preference be?
Character's preference is probably firstly getting this ghost to leave him alone, because it wasn't him who did it.
I could do that. Job done. Bounce it away.
But yeah, it's probably going to be more appease the ghost, tell it to be at rest and stuff, rather than trying to just shift the blame onto someone else.
No, banishment is kind of the thing for you, really. It's a case of getting rid of the spirit altogether. Mine is more motivated from a conscience angle, and yours is just, I don't really give a fuck, as long as it's not me.
So we have the Canterville ghost, the Exorcist, and I don't know, what is that? It Follows from Callum?
Oh god. It Follows.
Such a good film.
That sounds about right.
I know the premise, but I've actually never seen it.
So It Follows. I watched it while I was at university on the ground, and my room was on the ground floor. I had French doors, so glass floor to ceiling, and blinds that didn't go all the way to the bottom, and then a really big bay window that looks out to the garden. So I was surrounded by glass on two sides.
I'm going to be right back for 5 minutes.
We watched It Follows. I went to bed. I was like, I cannot fucking sleep. I slept with a light on at the age of 22.
The fucking tall guy absolutely shut me up.
No, it was the one that fucking burst through the bottom of the shed. That was what terrified me.
Oh shit, yeah.
Because that's like that hole in the shed at the bottom was the same as my blinds on the window. That's what it looked like.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I just kept imagining its face appearing under the blinds and just shitting the bed. I was like, no, light on.
Yeah, watch It Follows you, and it's incredible.
Oh yes,
it sounds good.
It's a really shitty B-movie concept that's actually genuinely terrifying.
Yeah,
I
like
love
the casualness of it is just it's awful.
Oh yeah, it is.
Oh dear.
There's a scene I want to talk about, but I will not talk about with you in here because he needs to see it.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, I'm guessing the one Callum may know exactly what I'm on.
I mean, there's a few, but I think another one.
Yeah.
So, what question do you want to, on an OOC level, what question do you want to flip at me, Callum?
I think against my better nature, or against old Cobb's nature, he'll be begrudgingly ask, how do we appease the ghost?
So,
Can I add a caveat to that?
yeah, shoot.
How do we appease the ghost while saving face?
That's the one.
That's an interesting.
No, that's the good middle ground. That is a good middle ground. It's still selfish.
It's about as close as old Cobb is going to get.
Fucking everyone and their mum really angling for that La Sombra embrace. Well, old Cobb and Sinful John. I keep wanting to say Sinful John.
I've returned.
Yeah, so
For Benji's reference, so Callum has reluctantly decided to do the nice person thing and use his half wisdom epiphany to.
I mean, no, I don't think half wisdom is too inaccurate either.
Well, I mean, either way. But yes, his half wisdom epiphany to see if there's any way of mollifying the ghost rather than simply bouncing the curse onwards.
As you do.
Nullify the ghost while saving face.
While saving face. So, in other words, he doesn't want to publicly admit that he's sorry he murdered that lass and basically murdered her brothers. So the three of you spend some time discussing late into the evening, noting with some pleasure that even long after dark has fallen, there's no sign of the ghost, either audibly or visibly. It's been mostly long, rambling, in many ways fruitless discussion. When old Cobb gets something of an idea. Now, you are aware of more than a few old legends, tales, fairy stories, that type of thing. And one general commonality in those is resolving the things that the ghost has left undone in this life, helping them to move on. Might be somewhat difficult in this circumstance, contextually, but perhaps there's some way that you could still resolve Lanferfeckin's assorted remaining living threads and help her to move on into the afterlife, even involuntarily. What do?
I don't know, to be honest. I got nothing.
I've got no half wisdom.
I mean, you were allowed to roll a cult, for the record.
That's true.
Sorry, I don't know if you're speaking, Callum, or if you were just chewing pick and mix thoughtfully.
Sorry, I was mute, so I was eating a cola cube.
Oh, fair. I think we all just thought you were being really, calmly thoughtful as you chewed on your pick and mix, trying to figure out the long backstory of Lanferfeckin and what you might want to do with this life.
No, I was just saying there's that the answer was mostly there are several ways of doing this. So I feel like now the problem is we've killed all of her family members as well.
You have indeed.
So
in fact,
Sorry,
it was
again,
heavily implied. It was heavily.
No, we didn't kill them. You just sent them on to their death, and they died in the process.
I mean, that's 100%.
They died, and we were there.
Yeah.
That
was also slightly implied last session that old Cobb arranged for her, at least her father, potentially both parents, to die so that he could get their spare cot.
Yeah, it was implied. That's all implication. The thing is, the two brothers died off when charged off. Yes, there was malice in. Well, it wasn't even real malice. It was just complete ambivalence. And a little bit of selfishness in there, but he didn't get them killed deliberately.
I don't know if
and they were too brave.
If a complete callous disregard for safety and a desire to profit off of someone's death necessarily makes it better than deliberate malice.
I think it does.
Yeah, the point is he didn't murder them. They died. They died because they were too stupid to think for themselves, and they charged off. It was the callous indifference, and they were too brave.
Don't know if that's how the ghost sees it.
Yeah, but Lanferfeckin was actually murdered. That's why she came back.
If there is one scumbag in this village that knows more people than me, is more influential than me, and will someday be replaced by me, it's the mayor. Should go and ask him.
Llewellyn the Languid.
He knows everyone's mums and dads.
It's very true. He's an old fucker too. However, that would mean leaving the safety of the set, and darkness has fallen.
Wait till morning.
We'll wait till morning.
The two
We're not
of
gonna
them
be-
say
the thing
quietly, as in the background, Idris fumes.
I mean, we're not
The thing
going
is,
to...
like,
I was going to say, we're not going to kind of wake up the mayor like a Skyrim NPC anyway.
well, as he gets out of bed, he just kind of does like the whole vampire lifting thing, and then steps off in a 45-degree smooth motion.
Yeah, and you just break into the house at 3 a.m. and ask them how their life's going.
And as you walk around the room,
What?
you stand perfectly still, going,
What? Rubus?
I mean, I think we had this happen in Cartborn, so why not?
Thematically appropriate.
So, in that case, Idris, what are you doing? You're just going to let them, like, bunk down in your parlour for the evening? Benji?
Oh, he said he was going to be right back.
No, he came back a while ago.
No, he went again.
Oh, he went again?
Mhm.
Oh, bugger, I didn't hear that. Fair. Okay, well, in that case, we will just assume that you bed down in the parlour for the evening, unless either of the two of you want to go exploring the cursed badger warren.
That was a hell of a call,
No,
That took
that's
ages to chew.
how you get tetanus. No,
That
sorry.
is almost
Yeah,
certainly
tinnitus.
how you get
That's
tetanus. Or
Sorry, I meant tinnitus.
Tinnitus.
I mean, either way. Plus, he's got some, like, straight-up booby traps scattered around the place. Quite a few, in fact. So the two of you spend an uncomfortable but spectreless evening trapped in the warren.
And the trap we chose to be there.
We'll say that, I don't want to schlorp him, but we'll say then that Idris the Young, is that the name of the third NPC? Just Idris Furch Idris rather than Granddaddy Idris. So yeah, I'm just going to call him Idris the Young then. So Idris the Young begrudgingly leads you out of the warren in the morning, booting you out through safe passage, which seems decidedly different to the way you came in, and out into the forest, giving you directions back to Mold. It's daytime. What are we doing?
Watching on over to the mayor's house, I think.
He lives on... Sorry, I didn't get much sleep last night. He lives on the opposite side of the village to the two of you. In a pokey little house, one of the other few villains in town, other than Bert. I'm just realising it has a very non-Welsh name. Though I suppose we also have Idris, which...
I don't know what the origins of Idris.
I'm named after 2 buns.
Cobb and Barn.
Yeah.
Scream. Llewellyn the Languid is not a Skyrim NPC. I see your Discord chats. The mayor is getting up for the day. He too has crops, and he too needs to tend them. He's merely a local headman, not a career politician, as the village is far too small to support such a career. Or, I mean, it should be. Old Cobb manages to make it work, but mostly by living an incredibly selfish life. He's a bit shocked to see the two of you up and about, but gives you a cheery wave. Wave, it isn't old Cobb, Dragon Slayer, hero of Mold. What can I do for the two of you this fine March, May, fuck, what even is time of year? May? Yes, no, April, fuck. This fine April morn.
Ah, Llewellyn, me old pal. You're, well, you might be in for a tale or two. Let me tell you that. I was feeling a bit down, you see, And I thought I'd come to you, being a man of good standing in this town here. A man of damn fine finery and fine dammery.
I did build that dam, yes.
And a mighty fine dam it was. And damn fine it was.
Damn those beavers.
Aye, those black and white hoofed beavers.
Badgers don't have hooves.
No, but pigs do. They've trotters. Anyways, I was getting sidetracked. I was thinking today about Lanferfeckin and how I never really got to know her over the 20 years I stayed in that house with her waiting on me.
Funny, she always described you as something like a father figure to her. I would have thought the two of you were quite close.
I knows, and we were quite close.
Did you not give her a eulogy?
I have returned. Sorry about that.
I did, and you know, she was good, and we were very close. She cooked all me meals, you see, and she knitted me slippers. Anyway, I was wondering, see, if you might know anything more, or if she had some distant relatives, or if she had some old friends that or acquaintances even that might have known her in life, and who would be useful in her death.
It depends how you mean useful, really.
Oh, no, it's nothing nefarious. It's just more of a passing interest, you see. A passing and very life-threatening interest.
Well, I mean,
I
that's
may
fair
interrupt
now.
Llewellyn. He's in mourning. He's having something of an episode, and anything that can help him get through this troubled time in his life, where he's lost 3 of his nearest and dearest, would be of great help.
You see,
that's
in
totally
fact,
fair.
we're all having an episode, and none more so than me. You might say I'm leading this episode. I'm in charge of it.
Screw. Were it anyone else, I'd be slightly suspicious from your phrasing, but I wouldn't have expected the Dragon Slayer of Mole to be up to anything nefarious.
I love that you specified nothing nefarious, even though that's like the dead giveaway.
The
That
most
it's totally
nefarious thing someone could say.
Is that I'm not nefarious, yeah.
Here, let me have a little bit of a think. Now, who was she related to? He says, consulting the NPC sheet real quick.
He says,
Rolodex.
looking at the map and thinking about sending them to St. Asp.
You don't know me, shut up. No, I mean, most of her family's dead as far as I'm aware. Only one I can name for you would be, Ridderch the Rough.
Ridderch the Rough. Oh, that's a name I've not heard in never.
You remember Ridderch, he's the Jarl's professional wanker. Metaphorically.
The what now?
I believe he's called a wit.
Metaphorically.
Well, Redditch,
get all the
let's get
perks.
started, Redditch.
Reddit. Yes, with all them 10th century zippers that everyone's wandering around.
And he's just like,
It's a status symbol. He's the only man who could afford one.
another man to jerk him off.
God damn it.
No, there was
Okay.
zipper. But sure, that too.
Oh, right, okay.
Riddick the Rough is he's actually from Mold. He's apparently the brother of the triplets. He is the tax collector for Jarl Orgrimmar the Ornery of Saint Asaph, and he's none too quiet about that. It sounds like he's got something going on tonight, and he's none too quiet about the fact that he is not a big fan of Mold, and can, if anything, be a tad excessive with collecting the taxes and roughing up the locals.
Got something in common then.
Do you also collect taxes? Oh, wait, no, yeah, I suppose.
Roughing up no one.
It's anything about roughing him up.
Yeah, only because murdering someone is significantly more than roughing them up. You're technically correct, but not in the way that you think you are, I feel.
Oh, I meant in the taxing the populace, actually. But...
I mean both.
Right. I'm back.
So yeah. I can't think what you might want with Riddick, though. He's basically a bastard.
Well, you see, if the bastard's all we've got, then the bastard's all we'll get.
Well, I mean, you do what you have to reconnect and work through your grief, but I'd be careful going up to St. Asaph. I know they might get on with Bert there, his magic fingers, but
There's only one thing worse than. There's only one thing worse than a man from St. Asaph, and that's a fucker from Ersk. Fucking Ersk.
Fucking Ersk.
Yeah, just everyone. The man, and then everyone in the scene just like turns and spits to one side.
yeah, no one's really a fan
Sinful
of
John
Usk.
does it as well.
Usk's villages. Usk is another Scandinavian colony. Usk's villages are a lot more holier than thou than the people over in St. Asaph. They're primarily fishers by trade, and they are literally holier than thou.
Yeah, they wash for some reason.
They do.
They
wash
bathe
an immense amount. They're like everyone knows that the Uskers are here to shag your birds, basically. Is your point of view as unwashed peasant man who can't quite work out why they seem like the locals seem to prefer the heavily washed, heavily bedecked, muscly Nordic men.
Fucking
Strange witchcraft.
niceless coward.
Pelvic sorcery.
Please, Ewan, write that down right now. Pelvic sorcery.
Note it for your highlights.
There's too many. Need the highlights in advance. We're doing it live.
God damn it. It's the fucking West Country on it too. There was an R in pelvic, and I just. Yeah, fucking Usk. Witches of the loins, they call them. Well, I call them. Can I help you boys with anything else today?
No. I suppose just I'd be liking to see some, when we go out, maybe tell a tale of old Cobb Barn, hero of the Dragon Slayer. You see, on his way in his grief, you might call him a hero of the roads, a road warrior, you might say.
Mayor, sir. I was going to say, Mayor, sir. Don't feel that you need to be this man's personal bard.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused, honestly. I was just going to have some porridge and plough my fields. I don't think I've really got time to go around telling everyone about your day. But perhaps in the evening, if I finish up work early, I'll see what I can do down... God, what was it?
South of the
down
border.
Les's Tavern.
Down Les's Tavern's way.
I'll take that, and you have a good one. How's your heart, by the way?
Well, it's doing a bit fluttery now. You come to mention it, actually. One of these days, I feel like a good scare could actually really kill me off.
Well. That's,
Plot hooks.
The dragon is dead. Everything's fine. Things will continue to remain calm and peaceful in Mold until the millennium and the end of days.
And to you too.
Sorry, is your general
optimist.
policy for the future of our town seriously a year of picnics followed by Armafucking get?
It's not a year of picnics. The millennium isn't for another 69 years of picnics. And then it's
well, how am I supposed to know that? I can't fucking read.
Well, you can count, can't you?
Oh, but I wasn't counting when the freaking millennium started.
It's not my fault that your education's lacking out there in the dung-filled badger hole you call a home.
Here. It is not dung-filled. I've got a plentiful sewer system.
I don't care how many
Not
flutes
shit
you've
talk
got. He waves the three of you away, bloody pagans.
I resemble that remark.
So, what do? Where go?
No, but I'm slowly feeling more and more like the Jim Halpert of the group.
I don't know this character.
It's the straight man character from The Office. The one who
Isn't he also notoriously a complete wanker?
He is a bit of a dick, yes. But he also has a conscience. So
I'd like to swing by my house and pick up a few things to the road.
First thing you notice is that your door is ajar.
Oh shit.
Inside, what kind of an animal person are you? You think you've ever had a pet?
Yeah, I had old sort of old Scruffy, the weasel.
Not the way I thought that was going to go.
He was a three-legged.
Big on We're very big on musculids here in in mold.
Three-legged black and white weasel.
Yeah, I can't think possibly why the local populace seems to fancy those cleanly fuckers from Usk when they could have all these good, musculid, piss-stinking moldermen. Moldies, as they're known.
Smells of own.
Yeah, because your home is drenched in badger piss.
I've got a very extensive sewer system for it.
Doesn't mean it don't drain into the soil and stink up the joints.
It's not wrong. You've got multiple... Anywho. I'm not going into badger home piss sewerage. Where are we at? Okay, so yeah, no, you actually are used to somewhat like what it looks like when a small animal has gone on the warpath. And it looks like nothing so much as the world's angriest cat has torn through your flat. Anything that could be knocked off a surface has been knocked off a surface. Nothing too heavy, of course. But something has really put a lot of effort into destroying, or at least uplifting, everything and anything it can without actively pushing over any of the furniture.
Sorry, whose home are we at right now?
This is my home.
Old Cobb's.
For Christ's sake! I've been ransacked. Those are someone's family heirlooms.
Actually, as you look around, the family heirlooms by and large seem somewhat untouched.
Oh,
Anything that even vaguely belonged to you, however.
Oh, me coin pan and...
Right, I've just got to ask. Have you been dabbling with the occult? Because seriously, the fact that this ghost is here trying to fucking ruin your possessions really does indicate it.
Yeah, he did the pagan ritual of stamping on a person's face until they died.
For emphasis to his point, Idris gesticulates at a nearby chamber pot, into which has been presumably painstakingly nudged your primary duvet thing. The piss has then soaked up the duvet and onto the bed.
Me trive! It's my most prized possession. And look! Someone's cut through all 3 of my beds. And all 9 of my chairs.
Why do you have 9 chairs?
Man needs 9 chairs, what can I say?
I'm not complaining, because obviously you're paying me for the wood, but like... Jesus.
Oh no, I didn't pay you for those. Mate,
someone has paid for wood to make those chairs. I don't care who it was.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was the tavern keeper. He probably paid you for the chair, for a couple of them.
Are you stealing from the feckin' tavern?
I mean, some people steal pint glasses, some people steal chairs.
Callum, can I just check? Have you got any leisure debate?
I do not.
Leisure domain
How the fuck have you gotten away with this?
To be fair, sleight of
I have
hand.
many skills.
You can't sleight of hand a chair.
It is difficult to sleight of hand a bar stool.
I will direct you to the fact I have skills that are various and vicarious.
He may very well have talked his way into it, or blamed it on someone else, or like just taken it in the day without sleight of handing it.
I was going to say, surely that all counts under subterfuge then. He has none of that either.
He's very ballsy about his thefts.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's just, he's just blatant.
If it's unbelievable, I could shrink that down to a mere 7 chairs, if you like.
Despite not being very charismatic, he can blather for Wales.
He is quite charismatic.
He's not a great liar, but he's a good bullshitter, if that makes sense. Like, he can't string a lie together to save his life. Well, no, you lie by omission constantly, but you're not very good at telling grandiose lies. It's more that you're very good at selling a worldview. You're a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
Which should still be good at lying, but I'm really doing my best to justify the character at this point.
So that's what I mean. You rely a hell of a lot on passive voice.
So, what do? The druid, I believe, did ask you if you've actually been dabbling with the occult or something, because this is an uncharacteristic level of angry spirit activity.
I mean, I, hand on heart, have never, ever, ever, ever led a cult.
I will actually take Hearth Wisdom...
that's not what I said, is it?
Hearth Wisdom Intelligence, please, from Benji. So, Idris, we'll say diff 7. And your speciality counts.
2 successes.
2 successes. A sudden, not necessarily accurate, but definitely concerning thought occurs to you. Do you remember the strange weather a month ago, on the day the dragon manifested? The devilish mist that rolled in out of nowhere and obscured everything more than a meter or two in front of your face.
Oh god, it's the dark mist from across the sword bridge of Anwan! You fecker, you've killed us all!
You don't know for sure, but you do have an unsettling feeling in your gut that you may have inadvertently fed some kind of evil sacrifice to the thirsty ones.
I mean...
Sorry, that's for... what's-it-called? Idris Fetch Idris.
Oh, that's fine. I thought you meant Heathen and Gethin.
No, I mean, it was absolutely you doing it. It's just his realization.
9th century version of fuck, which I suppose would still just be fuck.
I think it is still fuck, actually. Yeah, it's quite an old swear. I mean, you wouldn't be speaking Anglo-Saxon anyway, but yeah. I can't tell you what the 10th century Welsh version of fuck is.
But it's got more Fs.
Almost
certain.
It's the good baseline rule.
All the Fs.
What do?
Right. Well, you remember that awful weather a while ago? That might have something to do with it.
Right.
You live on the west coast of the major island in the British Isles. You might have to be a bit more specific than you remember that awful weather, a while ago.
You mean Tuesday?
Describes almost all of his life.
Was it the heavy rain, or was it the really heavy rain?
No, it was the mist.
Ah, the mist. Monday.
Yeah, this is the fucking Severn Sea in spring.
Well, I suggest we get our things together, procure some supplements, and head on our way up north. I think we need to go and meet this other brother, this other orphan I didn't know much about, but who seems to have done quite well for himself. Might have to ask him if he had
Why
a will.
did he never come back and, help his siblings out from underneath the horror of just having you to deal with?
Because he hates mold. He just hates mold that much.
Yeah. Welsh Barry Scott.
And the siblings are gone?
Yes. Ah, good times.
Bang, such as a gentle crunch.
A gentle crunch, and the orphans are gone.
Oh.
Just, oof.
Well, the provisions in this house are, not necessarily completely ruined, but not in a great state. As many of them are in the piss bucket as could be fit in the piss bucket. And as for the rest, they've all been tossed to the floor, and in many cases sort of thrown around in the dirt.
Might be good to ask around town, rouse some support for old Cobb's falling on hard times again.
You're really going to do a Kickstarter for what
old
exactly?
Cobb the bastard.
What are you going to tell people?
I mean, old Cobb, he's had some hard luck. Vandals from Ersk, probably. All
right, but that's absolutely going to be manipulation subterfuge. You can't expression your way out of this one. I'll give you your influence as a pool mod, difficulty 8.
I'll give it a go.
Botch, 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 botch.
Yes!
Fuck my life. Alright, yeah, that's 3 successes. Glad you can't get specialties in backgrounds.
Donation levy, by the way. Don't forget that.
Ugh. Yeah, unfortunately, many of the male folk of Mold are all too receptive to the idea that Uskers are bastards and they've come here to steal our women.
And furniture.
And furniture. And supplies. And piss on our duvets. It's perhaps not... Oh, I suppose blankets better for the period. It's perhaps not the most rational argument, but it's an excellent emotional one. And perhaps to the shock of Idris and Bert, it works surprisingly well. You raise easily enough rations to take you there and back.
Wonderful. What about the house?
What are you wanting for the house, sorry?
I just want us to put it back in order.
You want to get someone to clean the house up?
Yeah, while I'm away.
You did get 3 successes. Sure.
I
Several
did.
of the local lads say, yeah, we'll pitch in and have it cleaned up for you. Bloody Uskers. Their pranks have gotten out of hand.
Enough, they're stealing our women.
As we're walking out of town, I'm going to shout back, don't forget to wash the blankets!
First they
What are
slept
you, a
with
fucking
ugly,
Oscar? Wash
First they
it,
slept with Ugly Mary.
Sorry?
First they slept with Ugly Mary, and then they ruined his house. Ugly Mary, the most beautiful woman in the village.
We're operating on Greenland rules here.
I'm glad my wife died long before them fucking Uskers were around to seduce her.
Oh, okay, right. I'm okay. I'm
We're
glad
all
that
glad
resolved.
your wife died.
Yeah, we are. But
Jesus.
for the same reason.
So, it sounds like the group is heading out on a trip up to St. Asaph. Is there anything anyone else wants to get done in town?
Alright.
No, I'm just gonna get Sinful John to restring me bow.
It's fair. Well, you wouldn't want it... I suppose you
No,
could get it
you're
strung
right.
for the journey, but it is going to be quite bad for it to keep it strung that long.
Oh no, you just attach the string on one end.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
but
would
you
ask
still want
if
to
he's-
spend it
Yeah,
in position.
A pouch.
Stringing your longbow is still a fucking effort.
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
has wrong
like,
with it.
I was saying you wouldn't want to keep it strung the whole time, otherwise he's saying, no, that's fair, he'll just have it strung on one end and then he'll do the other one. But, which, like, it'll take a while to string it for the last bit, but then it won't break the bow. Or not.
I should just go, string my bow, John, then he just puts one loop on and goes, yeah.
I'm still training him to say master. Yes, master.
You practice that while we're away.
I mean, you're doing a shit job of it. You can't fucking talk.
Look, he's trying his hardest. Leave John alone.
Right. In which case, can I roll Animal Ken?
No, you can't roll animal ken.
Can I roll Animal Ken to give detailed instructions to Lord Brocktree to guard the set until I return?
Not to your son.
He doesn't live in the set.
Your
Not your
grandson
grandson.
does.
He's not here.
Alright.
I mean, he's currently in the set, so he will guard it. But I'm just giving extra instructions.
Do you have... Because I get a sinking feeling
goes
that
to your grandson and go,
I get a sinking feeling that I let you take something like this, but do you have a method of speaking to animals?
I'm pretty sure I do, actually. Yeah. Give me a second.
Because Animal Ken, no matter what rank you're at, as base, does not let you speak badger tongue.
not fucking Dr. Doolittle.
Yes, I have Animal Entrancement as the magic.
Alright, let me have a look. Bloody Dr. Doolittle.
I like to walk with the animal, talk with the animal, run and squeak and squawk with the animal.
Now, Lord Brockworth, remember, the bins go out on Tuesday.
And remember, if any of those Oscars come round here, send them packing.
Taking our sexy female badgers.
Well, Proctory hates the fucking Uskers because they ran off with his fucking high school sweetheart. Most eligible bachelor of badger in the village.
Her name was Bessie, and she was a swine.
Aye, that she was.
Seriously, right? That she was.
Where are we looking at? Animal entrancement. So it's charisma plus animal ken with difficulty equal to an animal's willpower, with modifiers for predators. Oh, is that actually easier on herbivores? Strange.
To be fair, badgers are omnivores, so you know.
Yeah, so we'll probably meet in the middle and make it like a +3 or something. Success means the creature will not attack or flee. No, it's not. It's not animalism. You can't give him what's it called? Commands with it. Not detailed commands, at least. He obeys his usual hunting badger commands. You could maybe have used that on the dragon, I suppose, but
Can I maybe like command him home so he'll go home and
yeah, you can tell him to go home, but like you can't give him detailed commands. That animal entrancement will keep an animal still.
Callum just dropped from the chat.
Oh, did he?
Oh,
He's
there
still
he is.
in Roll20. Oh yeah.
Alright, my sound went for a second there.
Okay, in which case I'd like to use Animal Ken to instruct him to go home.
Yeah, I mean he's
Long-
he's your trained hunting badger, so I think that would come under just a standard command.
Yay. Him and my grandson will goured my set.
Everyone knows you forgot your grandson, don't you? Can't walk it back now.
Heck off.
It's a distinct badger-based hierarchy, and the grandson is not at the top of it.
Packing order!
God damn it. And off Lord Blocktree goes. Which means the three of you are on the road to St. Asaph. So I've got, because it's getting a bit late in the day, I think. It's no more than a long day's march up to St. Asaph. It shouldn't take too long, but it's still a good few hours. Maybe 3, 4. So I have a question for you. What are you planning on doing when night falls?
When?
Sorry?
We'll keep walking. If we're not there already.
Light a torch. We'll turn the torch on.
Turn the torch on. Okay.
In mold.
Plug it in.
Yeah. No, what? What's plugging it in? No, you turn it on with the fire.
Plugging in is when you stick the torch on fire to turn it on.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I plugged the torch in.
These are all very technical terms.
But it's not very intelligent. So.
Stuck it in oil, I was charging it up.
God damn it. I've got the new Amazon Apple torch from Persia.
Ah, excellent.
From the apple orchard, the one that's
The
over
Greek
in,
fire torch.
Yeah. Oh god! Oh dear.
Been rediscovered by some random guy sitting in his bedroom.
I don't think it's been forgotten at this point. Yeah, 10th century, it's still around. Cool. In that case, I don't think we want to go on to the next narrative section with 2 minutes left to go. So, let's take some reminders for next sessions. That seems like a good place to call it. Anyone got anything?
We're going to go visit the brother of Lanferfeckin. I've forgotten his name. Are we allowed it?
Yeah, it's Riddick the Rough.
Okay.
Riddick.
Are we sure he's the brother? It's not following the theme.
Mic check.
Hey, there we go. Okay.
It was, for some reason, specifically not letting me rejoin the other channel.
Weird.
Don't know what happened there. Yes, sorry, I didn't understand your question, Veggie.
Oh no, not him too.
Not sure what. Not sure what question you meant.
You're asking, are we sure it's the brother, and I didn't get the context for that.
Oh right, I was saying, are we sure it's the brother? He's not fitting the naming scheme. Everyone knows that in 10th century South Wales, you've got to have a family naming scheme. Or now else.
And I counted it with he's the black of the family. That's why his skin on it.
And also he's
also
Vin Diesel.
Maybe he's renamed himself, and his real name was Lanferfeckin.
We can go with that.
Yeah. more lore for the village.
Slowly build it up.
Yeah,
So that we
that's
can
what
do
I
the
guess.
20th century chronicle.
But, yeah, I was saying it's probably worth us actually having a full reminder for we are trying to absolve ourselves of the ghost of Lanferfeckin.
That would help.
Yeah. While saving face, as Callum wrote. So,
Oh, yes.
Cool. Any other reminders?
People of Ersk are dicks. And they steal our women. With their shiny, clean bodies.
they also steal Ben's badges. Only the sexiest among them.
They take the best amongst our women and badges.
Yep.
It's a societal value statement right there, and it's not a good one.
At the mention of us, everyone... it'll probably be like a favourite bit, so I'll say that on the later. It's not a reminder that's necessary.
Fair. Any other reminders? Just putting down that you're kind of being hunted by the ghost of Lanferfeckin. Yes, any other reminders for next session?
Thanks.
No. Cool. Seems like we're all relatively on point. Feedback. Anything you liked, anything you disliked, anything you'd like to see more of or less of next time.
Once again, I'm liking small village politics.
Yeah.
Good to hear. I will say on my end, the banter is definitely fun, but we probably want to have, like, some kind of slightly more focused attempt to do something about plot threads as they're presented. Because I really had to lead people around by the nose this session. From place to place.
Ben's refusal to get in the fucking house.
You will
That was a weird one.
You will note that we skipped every single transit section because I wasn't having people walk from place to place. We'd never have got anywhere.
Yeah, Ben was in a mood. We all get them. We all get those days where our characters are just like, no, you know what? I'm really happy where I am. This
The
is
mood
no
is,
problem.
my character is a crazy weirdo from the woods. Why would he give a shit if something bad is happening to you guys and not him?
Because it was really well established, both in character and out, that you would almost certainly be blamed for this, even though it wasn't your fault. And your response, as your response always is when this comes up, is, but it wasn't my fault. But when people aren't being rational, that doesn't necessarily come up.
And also, you're big on
To which
half
I
wisdom. You should actually have a vested interest in ghosts.
To which my response is, as it always is, I have a Doom Fortress, at least the closest thing to a Doom Fortress in this fucking place.
We can't spend the
Come at me
entire
if you dare.
campaign in the fucking Doom Fortress.
That way lies no fun.
I mean, you can spend your time in the Doom Fortress if you want to, but I will say, if you, like, it's only getting into the Doom Fortress that is dangerous. If they just bury you alive or smoke you out, then you're going to have a slightly more difficult time. The village could make a concentrated attack on the Badger Warren were they so inclined.
Who's
Such
saying we're
as-
badger baiting Ben?
I'm not badger baiting Benji, I'm just saying, whilst they would never be able to successfully perform a direct assault, a siege is perfectly within their capabilities.
Fucking wankers. It's private property.
5 dots
You
of
may
security.
swim
No,
against-
it's not. You're squatting. 5 dots of security on a Badger Warren is still
Didn't say
5
it was
dots of
my private
security
property.
on a Badger Warren.
So it was
You may
private.
swim against the current, but you are in the plot river.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
I really like that analogy.
But yes, not a criticism, just a note for next session. Banter fun, but keep it moving in some kind of direction towards the plot. Cool. Any other feedback from anyone?
No, I'm quite enjoying the low-key character development PvPs where it's like there are no negative consequences to this other than the plot develops slightly and our character dynamics evolve. I quite enjoy doing those.
The plot thickens.
It's definitely nice on my end being able to hand out background dots more liberally because everything's quite low stakes. So like, you have upped your rural village influence by a dot. Oh no, he's getting close to 5. And it's not like you now have 5 dots of influence in London. Go fucking ham. It's
Oh no, you can cajole the mayor of a village full of 10
A
people.
bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
I think you'll find mold nowhere. Oh dear. But no, that's definitely fun on my end. Questions? Anything anyone was narratively unsure of in that session? Is everyone following the plot?
Yeah.
How did the ghost thing feel? Because I changed the entire plot for this session, like,
We could have
10,
never told.
20 minutes before sesh start.
You don't say.
I'm liking the ghost plots.
Yeah, I like the ghost thing. I honestly couldn't tell. I was just happy to get into character and cajole Callum for his sins.
It's good to hear. Oh yeah, no, that's I was
Johnny
definitely
led by the nose to pray.
I should have said on the feedback thing, I've been really pleasantly surprised with Bert's in characterness this session as good Christian medieval peasant. He may be a rich bastard, but he's just trying to be nice. And generally making a lot of leaps of logic in character that were both sensible, rational, and, wow, this is going to sound patronising, but most shockingly of all, mostly correct. Which was really, really lovely to see in terms of getting into the world.
Oh yeah, it's that's the thing. Like, I wrote Bert is my most balanced character on paper and mentally. Probably.
You don't say. Given your other ones are Sinful John or Itinerant Priest.
Yeah, so it is literally like I can actually just roleplay it as I know where this is going. I'm paying attention because I'm enjoying the plot, so my character is actually like moving along at the correct pace. So.
And simultaneously also good to see what's it called, old Cobb feeling out how he can abuse the system within the context of his character.
Pretty good.
Quite like the if I'm going to get killed by the angry ghost and or outed by the angry ghost, then I'm taking you all down with me. Party quest mechanic.
I'm amazed at how well I've rolled this session to fuck over the village.
You have been getting jammy as all fuck. You have levied 2 taxes. You are not empowered to collect tax.
It's great.
In fact, you
But
levy,
y'all, it's about this. There'll be fucking hell to pay.
you
I know,
levy
getting
1
to St.
tax
Asaph.
to go see the tax collector.
I look forward to getting into St. Asaph, where his influence goes right the way down.
Back down to 0.
I've got 4. I'm probably somewhat known.
Yeah, it's true. You'd be somewhat known in St. Asaph. It
You'd be
probably
somewhat
carries
known.
over a little bit.
Again,
But equally, you've
not
arrived in
enough
town
to-
in the company of a man who smells very strongly of musculate.
Yeah,
Not nearly enough to levy taxes on a
as
whim.
the pig farm of the area, I also probably Callum and I are actually probably on par when we get to St. Asaph.
ne'er a statement said with so much pride as the
Risen.
pig farmer in the area.
I am the peninsula's primary pig supplier.
I supply pigs and pig accessories.
Here, you want a bell? I've got bells. You want, here, have an extra curly tail for the kids.
Says, holding up freshly cut pigtail. Cool. So, let's do some XP.
Do you think that the idea of pigtails in people's hair came from? It came from Bert retailing hair accessories.
Yeah.
Actual pigtails.
Horrifying.
Right.
Cool plot progression. Does anyone feel like you made any significant plot progression this session?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. We're on our way over. We've
gone and we've apologised, kind of, to the graves.
made a really bad attempt at exorcising by everything a ghost.
Bert tried to force Cobb into a position of conflict.
Right, I'm going to have to head off because this puppy won't stop crying at me.
That's
no
fair
worries.
enough.
Alright.
Alright.
Says,
Later.
Hi, guys.
hey,
Yeah, so Bert forced Cobb into a position where he had to try to atone for his sins. Cobb was Cobb. Well,
Yes.
Bert fully gave him an opportunity to recant. You know.
yeah, I'm not going to lie on that bit. It had never actually crossed my mind that you might make a sincere and genuine, heartfelt apology at the tombstone. So I was kind of sweating bullets in it. oh fuck, are they going to 2v2 the bloody plot? 2v2, 2 for 2, the bloody plot, session for session, and then
and then within an hour as well. That would have been great.
At the last moment, old Cobb pulls out the, well, I'm sorry that you're offended that I murdered you, but...
That's the thing, like, Callum's character is actually the one who's completely keeping us on course, whereas my character is actually being too reasonable. I keep a fucking brain-damaged child in the pigsty, but I have utter respect for the spirits. It's weird.
I mean, Sinful John, like, one, sleeping with your animals is a lot less uncommon in this period. Not in that way. And two, I had other points.
He is brain damaged.
Oh, yeah, well, that wasn't what I was going to say, but, like, whatever else you say about him, one, it's clear Sinful John isn't wanted anywhere else in the village, and two, he seems kind of happy with where he's at.
We've lost his mic now.
Oh, fuck me.
It's come back. So it dropped the entire time you were speaking until you went, oh, fuck me.
I was saying that, like, one, it's clear that Sinful John enjoys where he is and isn't really wanted anywhere else in the village. Oh no, that was both the points. Fuck. Yeah, one, he's not wanted anywhere else in the village, that's pretty clear. And two, he doesn't seem unhappy. Like, for all that it's a slightly shitty situation, he's got a roof over his head, he's not particularly abused or disrespected, actually, in your house, which he would be anywhere else. And we have at least somewhat portrayed the pigsty thing as, I don't know if you've tried to get him out of the sty, but it certainly seems like he wants to be in there. He's attuned to the pig.
It's getting weird. Like, originally, Sinful John was like this really zany character that just lived on the farm and ghostly appears next to everyone and ho ho ho, isn't he so funny? But actually he's grown into this, like, he's actually quite he's a bit of a shy...
Oh, you've cut out for me, Whitey. Oh no.
I've got the vocals back as well.
Oh, holy fuck.
Brutal. Oh, hey.
That came back when I accidentally clicked on the channel. Okay.
What I was saying before you so rudely disconnected was that John started off as like this big joke of the village where he's just like this really extra kooky kid. But now that we've done a couple of sessions, like, there's a lot of reason for him to be the creepy kid. And it is that he's like this sad, brain-damaged child who has, again, like, he's not wanted by anyone else in the village, and Bert being this good Christian pig farmer, weird statement, but, being this good Christian pig farmer who's been to war a few times and, has a sense of value for life, is just trying to look after this kid and is kind of adapted to the fact that, John's a little uncanny, and he's obviously a little bit autistic and definitely a bit brain damaged, but he's otherwise not a bad kid. Like, he's spooky, but he's not malevolent.
You're making me feel very bad about portraying him hissing at people earlier. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he's obviously got some form of social disability. Like, he's hissing at people because he doesn't really know how to communicate properly with others. Again, he's brain damaged, and he's happy with Bert, and that's essentially it.
It may not be the ideal relationship for the modern version of it, but for the place and period, you could be treated a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he lives in the sty, but he obviously likes the sty regardless of cold weather. He helps with the pigs for warmth. But you know what? Good on him. He's happy. And he helps out.
So, character development. Does anyone feel like they developed their characters this session?
I think so. I definitely think Bert has developed. This last session, like, he developed a little bit, and that he gained a history. He was obviously, like, he's been a bowman since he was a kid. How he got to that point is still unclear, but he's been a bowman since he was young, and as such is an expert. He's obviously brave, he's obviously moral, and that morality in particular is certainly shone through this session. And his relationship with John is blossoming to something that actually there's an explanation for it, rather than it just being, haha, I've got a kid who lives on my farm. You know?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, so sort of Bert discovering his softer side.
It's genuine motivation for doing the things. Like, the dragon was kind of, he's saving the place where he lives. He's been to war, he knows how to fight. It all makes sense. And we're the player heroes. But with this one, it's a case of, for Bert, it's about doing something right. It's atoning for something that, while at the time he was kind of like, oh, I can maybe justify this as mercy killing. He's now going, oh shit, well, that was the wrong thing to do. Like, I have something to prove and something to apologize for. So he's doing what he needs to do to get the most moral solution he can, given the morons he's lumped with.
I do definitely feel like you steered old Cobb away from what was very likely going to end up with a corpse getting dug up there. Had he been left to his own devices entirely by himself.
Yeah.
Essentially. I hadn't even thought of that.
The only I feel like it was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
But if you hadn't had Bert yanking back on the ethical choke chain, it would have been, but who can I con into digging up the corpse without revealing the reason?
Yeah.
Feed the corpse to the pigs.
That's the thing. That's the sort of logical leap that would be made. But, I don't know. My character has very much got a path at the moment that he's on. And I'll be interested to see where that goes. I think I'll be a bit sad if Bert dies now, because he's actually becoming this quite well-rounded character.
Yes.
Cool.
Callum, any character development for old Cobb?
I feel like we haven't really got much more of old Cobb's kind of relationship with the town. But aside from that, I wouldn't actually say we saw too many new sides of him. It kind of just firmed up the kind of dickish edges.
Fair.
Yeah. That's the thing. The thing is, where my character is like rounding, yours refining a particular aspect of his being.
Yeah.
He's ultra selfish. He's very manipulative. He wants to be a magnate.
What would medieval Welsh Count Olaf do?
That's the thing. You could say that he is developing in that he blatantly wants to be some sort of magnate, but he's just so slimy that
he's slimy as hell.
You almost never want him to reach that point because he's just that much of a dick. Even if he's very good at it, you don't want him to become that magnate because he's just a twat.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, I'm very much enjoying playing it.
Excellence of roleplay. Well, I'm going to say that me and Callum definitely carried this session, but Ben was obviously distracted with some other stuff.
Yeah, I think he had puppy issues all session, unfortunately, sounded like
he had a rosy issue at one point as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so I don't know if you're allowed to nominate yourself, but I'd definitely say me and Callum really
nominate each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you nominate other people, but you do have to give specifics.
Well, there was the whole... there was the back and forth in particular at the start, which is an argument for both, really, but Callum had... it takes two to tango in that scenario. And then when we get to the cemetery, where I was like, okay, Cobb, do your thing. And Cobb, rather than listening to the other person with any sort of influence in the village, really, he's going, right, well, no, I'm going to continue being me. Sorry, not sorry.
Similarly, Bert, and I will take you to God.
Yeah, that's the thing. You were old Cobb continued to be terminally Cobb.
Yep.
To the excess of to loss of all else, he just continued being this old selfish dick.
I think those are both valid calls. Okay, so I make that out to be 7 experience points for session number 7 in a pleasing bit of symmetry. That's 2 points of plot progress. You tried one way of apologising for the ghost and started hunting down the lost plot threads. 2 points of character development. That's Bert discovering his softer side, Bert becoming motivated to do good for its own sakes, and old Cobb solidifying his role as town bastard. 2 points excellence of roleplay. Old Cobb is sorry, not sorry. Bert threatens to bring God in on everything. Plus 1 standard general.
Excellent.
Which brings us on to everyone's favourite part of the session. It's the highlights. Callum, do you have any highlights for that session?
Oh, what was it? The pelvic sorcery?
Yeah, pelvic sorcery.
Drive by Benji.
His greatest input to the session.
Trust the badgers over your own grandson.
Playing 3 very different games of Wacky Skyrim 'em Up, Wacky Wacky, and serious soul-searching quest for the goodness in man's heart.
Let's throw in a couple for me. The funeral levy.
Fucking goddamn
so proud.
Welsh Margaret Thatchers. You know what would really help this situation? A poll tax.
And simultaneously, the tri-blanket.
God damn it. Cool. Anything else?
He's the warmest motherfucker in town. With cold hearts.
Warmest motherfucker with the coldest hearts.
My skills are various and vicarious.
Oddly accurate as well. They operate through other people.
True. Fuck. And I'll what was it? I'm gonna go home and shave my pigs.
I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, I had as well. But on a related note, was it spoils my swine, and there was another one to do with pork. Can't remember what it was. I had it a second ago.
There was the how much pork did what was his face? Larry.
33 kilograms of pork.
33 kilograms.
Purchased by Larry the Load.
Jesus fucking Christ. So, for Whitey's context, I don't know if you've seen these around the Discord, but when we finish a chronicle or campaign, what have you, usually I post like all of the highlights in one big batch, so you can look back and see like a cross-section of all the shit that's happened in the campaign. I'm gonna fucking lose it over the Larry the Load in like 4 weeks, I guarantee it.
What else? I really enjoyed Ben's Badger Parlor.
Yeah, the fucking badger complex. Why do I never review Benji's sheet perfectly? Like, he's got 3 dots of size. It's mansion size. It's easily the biggest property in town.
It's marble badger statues.
It's a nuclear bunker. And on top of... Can you put in brackets? Can you put on brackets, smells like badger piss?
I need to check real quick because I'm suddenly gripped by a terrifying need to know where's the fucking Hunters Hunted book? It's not Hunters Hunted. Right, Hunters Hunted 2. What is the size for size 3? Here we go. Size 3. A warehouse, church, or large home. 5 to 8 rooms or large enclosure.
Oh god.
I really enjoyed. I genuinely enjoyed the argument at the start, like fucking kicking in the door, like movie style, and having an argument, like a screaming match with old Cobb. Like it was probably one of the most in character bits so far, and it was just a screaming match between a religious man and the most selfish man in the village.
Yeah, we used to have we had to, when we were doing Cartborn, Callum and Benji would get into these discussion-a-thons, and it got to a point where we had to like But we had other players say, "Hey guys, could you not for a little bit, because otherwise they would go on for 20, 30 minutes of just role playing at each other in increasingly in character ways, which were entertaining but often had very little to do with the actual plot of the thing."
It sounds like the old Creed and Joe thing you had.
Significantly more enjoyable.
Oh, fair enough.
You could listen to it and be entertained by it, but you'd also kind of sit back at the end and go, "Wait, fuck, no one's done anything for 30 minutes because these two fuckers were arguing about boots."
Just filled with low-key racism as well.
Yeah, but you were Nazis, right? Or is that different?
No. Oh, well, I mean, Chile, we were Nazis. No, that was when I was the Khajiit, who was the truest Nord who ever Norded.
That's a good campaign. Any other highlights, Whitey?
Trying to think.
Because my main one is going to be the Badger Fortress, so I'm actually struggling to think of other highlights.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Fortress of Badgertude.
Fortress of Badgertude.
Ben was super chatty, so it's kind of hard to come up with one to go into those.
Ooh, Bootface Ghost.
Oh yeah, bootface good. Oh, that was it. Lanferfeckin with a feckin bootprint. Lanferfeckin with her feckin bootprint. That's part of my fucking rant.
God damn it. Oh, I do giggle when I listen back to these recordings.
Yeah, I don't know where you're planning to release them, but I'll probably actually listen to this one back because I really enjoy our 4-man P&P campaigns because they're really listenable.
They're good. I like it.
They're super clowny in a very heavily role-played way.
They usually go up on the YouTube, but they also take a marginal amount of time to edit, and I have been busy for months at this point.
Have you finished the Cardboard one yet?
No, fucking, I've not even, what I've got is what's up on the YouTube at the moment, which is the first 3 episodes.
Oh Christ, we haven't even got to Nazim.
No, Nazim.
Nazim.
The Cloud District. Any other highlights from anyone?
I think that's about it from me.
Argue the Afraid to a Ghost. There's a bit between because Ben spent so long trying not to go anywhere. I'm trying to think what happened between the ghost and the mayor. And then we went back to his place for a bit. I think that was what happened. And then we went to the mayor from there.
Yeah, I think so. It sounds like we've got everything then.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, John hiding in bed was pretty good as well. With surviving the courage roll and just turning to John saying, "Not a friend of yours."
God damn it.
Go on.
Can I get swindling the village to clean my house?
Oh yeah, add that one. That was weird.
The word "my" is doing a lot of fucking legwork in that sentence. Oh. Fair. Cool, in that case. Thank you all for a very entertaining session number 8. We will be back next week for the exciting continuation of plot thing.
What, I mean, you're actually going to work out what the hell you're going to talk about next time?
No, well, I mean, that didn't go any of the possible routes I had for it to go on the ghost path, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I had a lot of ways set up for, how can you deal with this? And then none of them got used, so it's fine, I'll work something out.
Yeah, it's player things, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's ever the way.
You just set up 5 separate routes for something, they will find the 6th.
Yeah. I'm also going to do experience between now and next time, because I've got 15 experience banked.
Yeah, saved up. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, I just forgot to do it last time.
I throw some more into the law.
God damn it.
Make bank.
It's the only way he's got to survive.
Yeah.
I mean,
extremely questionable interpretations of the law.
Cool. Any final words for the recording?
Oh,
Pelvic sorcery.